What's up, good people? I'm trying something different, so let me know if you can hear me in the chat by typing exposed or drag her or Brett or fraud or thief or anything you have to describe the situation that we are about to explore deeper this evening. And start the countdown, and then I'll be right with y'all.
Ayy, poppin' like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Ayy, winning like I ought to. I ain't wanna do it, but I got to. Smoking what my doctor told me not to. Got these wishing they was hot too. Ballin' like I need to. Got my exes wishing for a redo. Smell the marijuana when I speed through. Hit her with the tip, that's a preview. Hold up, wait up, get your weight up. Shit, get your money, not your hate up. Boy, draw a play up. I flip my wrist, it a layup. She wanna lay up. I gotta get it, I'ma stay up. I'm all the way up. I got my pay up. I ain't playing with you. I'm a coach now. Commentating, do the most now. I be somewhere booted with my toes down. Make little baby tooted with her nose down. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live.
showtime. What's up, good people? We are back. Let me know that you can hear me in the chat by typing taken. If you can hear me, taken, because that's the movie that I forgot her name already. It ain't worth remembering anymore. Carlee. It was the movie she was using as research for, bringing us all together in her thing. And you can also type, exposed or drag her or brat or fraud or thief or attention seeker or cheater, because we're going to talk about all of it tonight. All of it. So this is going to be pretty much a continuation of kind of where we left off. For those of you who were with us this afternoon, who were able to be with us, for those of you who were not able to be with us this afternoon, you missed out. But thankfully for you, you can replay the video. It's still up. So after this, though, don't leave us, because we're about to get into some more shenanigans, and it's even better when it's live. So we do this, and then if you're a night owl, you watch the other one or come back to it tomorrow on the weekend or something. And definitely like the video as well. So, oh, did I put the... Thank you for the 99%. Oh, wow. We're going to be at 100% before we know it. The 99% of you who have liked this video, y'all are some quick learners, and I appreciate you for that, because it helps this channel and me more than you know to grow, etc., etc. Thank you to everyone in the chat who let me know that you could hear me by typing taken, because she took herself into a horrible place, because this is not a good look. Thank you, RJ, and Blessed in Every Area of My Life, and Andrea, and Tracy, and Monique, and Nicole, and Marlena, and I think it's Twyla, Miss Wilson, and Renee, and Boss Wife, and Idvana. I know I just butchered that. Rochelle, Power Dynamic for Life, and Marianne. I know her name and I'm messing it up. Forgive me, y'all. I'm reading quick and it's been a long day. TCB, Sugar Spice, and Daphne, and It's Cruising with Karen, and Trey Keisha. I'm so used to saying Trey Keisha. Trey Keisha, and Lethia, and Miss AMG. Okay, I'm done trying to read names. Thank you to everyone in the chat who let me know that you could hear me. I appreciate you for taking time to show me that. Also, a quick little update has nothing to do with Carlee, aka Jessie Smollett, or what are they calling her? Carlee Smollett. I actually just got a text from my friend, and it's funny because tonight, this was not my original. I was going to come live tonight. That was my original plan, but I wasn't planning on coming live with this content because of the fact that I thought, oh, we'll handle that in the morning, during the day with the press conference. Little did I know that press conference was going to be epic and give us so much to talk about that we couldn't even fit it into a 2.5 hour live. So I was like, let me go ahead and we're going to do it tonight. Don't make no sense to push it to tomorrow because everybody wants to talk about it tonight. So that's why we're back. But my original plan was to talk about some of the trending topics that I have, been missing out on. And one of them that I was going to do was John Amos. I'm a couple weeks behind with the actor John Amos from Good Times. For those of you who don't know, the father of Good Times. His son. Well, I was planning on doing an update because there was an update with the sister saying that the brother had been removed as a power of attorney and could no longer make decisions for John Amos. And then he clapped back with something. I can't remember because it's in my notes. But anyway, what I just found out, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow afternoon for sure. John Amos' son, KC Amos, arrested and charged with terroristic threats days after going live while his father refused to stay hospitalized. It's going down. It's going down. And I know it's been some people who have been on his side and called the sister a scammer and all of that, but it's more to that story. So this, We got a lot of Carlees out there, a lot of Justice Smollett's, and a lot of Darius Cooks and Crooks out there. And it looks like KC fits in that. So I'm going to dig into that between, after we get off here. Well, I ain't doing ish after we get off here. Lay my ass down, watch some TV. But tomorrow morning, I'll be doing the research. So we'll go live tomorrow afternoon and we'll dig into that and a few other stories. I know about Nene Leakes. I was going to talk about that, her son getting arrested and all that stuff. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll be 2 days late, but I'm always late with the trending topics. It is what it is. But the difference is I deep dive. I don't just do speculation. And if it's speculation, I'll let y'all know it's speculation. But so yeah, I wanted to update y'all on that. And then so we got 10% of you who are new to this channel. So thank you and welcome to the 10% of you who are new. Hopefully you are also now, we have 10% new people who are subscribed. And I would appreciate that as well. Join the family. We're purpose driven. We do deep dive. We're mature over here. We only drag with shenanigans, but we keep it lighthearted over here. And we got some great topics over here. So join the family. Okay, so we're gonna move right into it. So what I want to do is kind of piggyback. We saw the press conference. I am gonna replay a bit of it because some people who are watching maybe were at work or they just got lives and they ain't like me and they ain't on the internet all day looking at everybody else's business. And so for those people, we're gonna play a little bit of the press conference so that they can see it and have context to what we're gonna be talking about for those of us who were here earlier today. So one of the first things I want to do is actually play the 911 call from Carlee, which officially got released today during the press conference. And oh, Jesus, it was a mic drop. So let's get into that first. It's like 2.5 minutes or something like that. So let's listen to that and then we'll continue on.
911, where's your emergency?
Hi, I am on Interstate 459, and there is a kid just walking by themselves.
Oh, hold on. Where on 459 are you?
I'm right next to the exit 10 by the Hoover Met, like to get off by the Hoover Met.
Okay, so you're before that exit?
Yes.
Okay, and were you headed southbound or northbound? Like toward Tuscaloosa or toward 280?
Towards Tuscaloosa.
Okay. And was the child on the left or right side?
On the right side.
Were they walking northbound or southbound?
They're walking towards Tuscaloosa.
Walking southbound? Or how old do they look?
Like a toddler, like maybe like 3 or 4.
Did you pull over with them? Are you still with them?
Yes.
Okay. Are you with the child right now?
No, I'm not. I didn't get out of the car. I can see them though.
Do you mind staying and keeping an eye on them until we get there?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, what kind of car are you in?
I'm in a red Mercedes-Benz.
Is that a sedan or SUV?
SUV. I mean, it's a sedan. Sorry.
Can you put your hazards on for me?
Yeah, they're on.
Okay. Did you talk to the child at all, or did you say anything to them?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do they look like they're injured?
No, they don't.
Are they white, black, Hispanic, or Asian?
They're white.
Okay. Is it male or female?
I think it's a boy, a little boy.
White male? Okay. Is he wearing clothes?
Yes.
Okay. What is he wearing?
It's a white T-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper.
And you don't see any cars anywhere?
No cars are anywhere.
Okay. All right. What's your name?
My name is Carlee Russell.
And you don't see any injuries on the child from where you're at, correct?
No, but I can't really see them that good.
Okay. Try to keep an eye on them for the best that you can, because I don't want you to lose track of them.
Okay.
All right. And do they have shoes on?
No.
Shoes?
Not that I can see. I can't really see that well.
Okay. All right. I've got them on the way, okay? Just try to keep an eye on them, but officers are on the way, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. I was reading y'all comments trying to start. I'm doing my moderation solo. We don't have no background sing us right now. So I'm gonna do a few comments because we chilling tonight. This kitchen table talk is a little looser than this morning. Well, it was loose this morning, but y'all know what I'm saying. I'm gonna break some of my format is what I'm saying. So Jules is saying Veil is more than fair, sticks to the facts, and keeps the language clean, and he's entertaining. Oh, thank you so much. And as far as the clean language, for the most part, I do. There are times, some of y'all know, but it's not just cursing for cursing's sake. I got to be passionate about something. I'm like, I got to say the word, but it's rare. I was always taught that people who constantly curse because they don't have a sophisticated vocabulary, so they're uneducated. So that's why I don't have to say F this and ish and all of that and F. I ain't got to do that MF and all that every sentence, every 2 sentences. I ain't got to do that. I got other words I can use. There's a whole plethora of words that we can use besides curse words and still have effect. But a good F-bomb does feel good sometimes, especially when you see ish like this. You be like, what the F? Sometimes you need that F-bomb. This is an F-bomb kind of situation right here. But Faith Live said, Veil, I told you she was a liar. You wanted to give her benefit of the doubt. Faith Lives, I give everyone benefit of the doubt. That's just how I roll, especially in this sort of situation. For me, did I believe she was lying? F yeah. That's an F-bomb moment. F yeah, I did. But what I did not know was the particulars of, was it a mental health crisis? None of us really knew those pieces. So don't act like you knew. You didn't know. You were taking an educated guess or going on your gut or whatever. But the truth is we weren't there. We needed to wait for the information and for the evidence. And what I have seen in life in general, but especially doing this social media kind of work, and I literally follow hundreds of stories, is that sometimes people jump to conclusions and innocent people end up getting re-victimized from their situation, getting victimized in whatever the situation was, but then re-victimized by the public with the public attacking them. And so I'm very mindful of that. And I understand that I have a platform and we got hundreds of people watching. And by the time this video replays, there's thousands. I am aware of that. And as a caring human with a soul and heart and all of that, the last thing I want to do is jump to a conclusion and blast somebody. And I have, those of you who've really been around, y'all know when I covered Sweetie Pies, the Tim Norman trial and stuff, I actually found out all those people were watching my content. And thankfully, because I did follow my heart, even in that horrible situation, I was mindful of what I said about people and how far I went. Tim Norman, again, drugged the F out of him, again, an F-bomb moment, drugged the F out of him and will continue to because I knew he was guilty. Darius Crooks dragged the F out of him constantly. We got a F dragging series, another one coming, y'all. I know some of y'all I saw in the chat somebody like, oh, he glad you off his neck. I ain't never off his neck. I'm always just working in behind the scenes, and I don't want to talk about him every single day or every week or even every month. But when I come, y'all know I come with it. So that is why you won't see me on here just jumping to conclusions. I ain't got to jump to no conclusion now because the news conference did a mic drop and said she's a effing liar. She is again, I ain't gonna go too deep, but so that's what it was. It wasn't that I literally thought that she was completely innocent. No, I'm not slow. I'm wise, actually. I'm very wise at what I do and the platform that I have and all of that. I'm not just sitting here talking to my next door neighbor on the porch. So I got to be more mindful of what I put out there. So that's what that was. Now I ain't got to be as mindful, but I will. Like, I ain't going to call her no B and, all that. I don't do that in real life. So I'm not going to do those sort of things. So just so you know, Faith Lives. Why am I? It's saying, okay, the same person saying premeditated hoax Carlee, Justice Smollett. Yeah. Twinsies. Twinsies. Well, I actually have this. There we go. That's appropriate for this moment. Kim is saying, I saw the video of John Amos. He is in his right mind and able to articulate his wants. I hate that he's going through this drama. Yeah, that is true. The only thing though, and I agree with you, I've seen him in videos and seen he's articulating and everything. However, I'm not sure if he's suffering from any level of dementia or anything, but for those of us who have experience with it, and I'm not sure if you do, in the onset of it, people can be both that and then not. And so that's what I wasn't sure with him. And I wasn't sure if the son KC was taking advantage of him in those moments where he wasn't as sharp. I have a friend dealing with it now. I've actually had a couple, but dealing with it now with a parent. And the parent was, sharper. Now we're in the later part of it. So it's, it's different. But yes, we'll talk about that story more tomorrow for sure, though, because I'm extremely interested in that story. For one, I really care about that. I hate to see that happening on so many levels. Shantae is saying, Carlee, a whole lying fool. I think she was trying to disappear to avoid charges for stealing from the job. It already leaked that she was fired. Now she will have these charges and those, dummy. Interesting. Okay. I hadn't heard, I heard rumor that she was fired, all of that. And we're going to talk about some of that, but I didn't know any of it was yet factual. So you're saying it's factual. That's still crazy though. And why is she still, what is happening? What is happening? Because supposedly she's well off and she's dragging people. We'll get to that. I want to get ahead. That's one reason I kind of don't usually read the comments throughout. I wait until like towards the end, so I don't end up interrupting, the flow of what and telling too much too soon, jumping in front of my story. So I'm gonna do these couple, and then I'm gonna get back to my normal programming where I just stick to my notes, so I don't get all out of order. But Gwendolyn is saying the lies. This was a scheme set up by Todd to come to us with the BS. That's what Gwendolyn is saying. I agree with you, Todd. Stop playing in our face. Tiffany Winfield says, I heard about this. Didn't know she was lying. She was lying, Tiffany. She was lying. Still lying. Because she still got her family believing that she is she was abducted by a orange-haired white man. Yep, another Maria says she doesn't sound distressed. Yeah, you noticed the same thing on the call that I did as well. She didn't seem excitable. She didn't seem nervous. Like, oh my God, the child is out here walking. Oh my God, I hope he don't run into onto the interstate, but I'm scared to get out. Like none of that. But again, the other piece with this 911 call, one of the clips we watched, I think it was yesterday, where the newscaster said that the mom said that she had been warning Carlee, I don't know, weeks, months before about a ploy of people putting children out there to get you to, so they could set you up or whatever. And she said, oh, and that's the way my daughter ended up going. So it's like I mentioned before, was it that Carlee took that story like, oh, that would be a perfect scenario if I want to go missing? Crazy. That girl need help. Power Dynamic for Life is saying, that's why I like you, Vel. You do your research and you always bring us the real. Thank you so much. Yes, it's part of my problem, though. I see a lot of people just jump on, like other creators. They just jump on. They don't really understand what's happening. They searching the internet while they on the live with y'all, got y'all in silence for 5 minutes. I think this was, wait a minute, what? So y'all tell me what happened, huh? Like, I'm like, I can't, that grieves my soul. And more power to them. If you can roll like that, more power to you. But I come from corporate training environment as a trainer, and I just can't, it grieves my soul to not come here prepared. But the problem is then I don't produce like that. So that's why I'm starting to go live more versus the the pre-recorded videos, because those are research and then hours of editing, usually a day or so of editing. So we're going to do this until we get us to the point where I get that 100K plus, and then I can go ahead and hire, you know, a good staff to start, well, like one person, a half a person to start helping with the research, and then I can get to the other kind of content I want to create. But thank you so much, Power Dynamic. And I appreciate you always supporting me. Always supporting me. I really appreciate it. D. Perry is saying, well, it appears she did research and thought it all through. Not really, though, but okay. Seems it had something to do with the boyfriend and called his sister and screamed instead of calling her parents. Seemed it had something to do with the boyfriend and called his sister and screamed instead of calling the parents. I'm not sure if this is a typo, D. Perry, but she did not call her boyfriend's sister. She called her brother's wife. They're saying that's her sister-in-law. So she called her brother's, well, she called her sister-in-law. She called her sister-in-law, so not the boyfriend's family. So I don't know if you got confused on that or if that's a typo. But also, I look at it slightly different. I feel like she attempted to do her research, but I don't feel like she thought it through well at all. I don't think she thought it all through. I think maybe she thought it all through, but it's clear she didn't, because look at this. Look at what we're talking about. Look at what this is. That was not a well thought out plan. It was some thinking happening, but it was some short bus kind of thinking happening, if you know what I mean. A Salon line. I'm probably gonna stop reading some of these names, y'all. When the detective said she drive 600 yards while on the phone with 911, how are you able to see the child? That was very telling. Yes, exactly. And at that time, when we saw her car moving, for those of us who've seen the video, it was like that part made no sense. Like, why did your car move so far? Once you put your hazards, you just kept going and going and going. And now they're saying they verified, the police, through the time tracking of it all. They're like, she was on the phone with 911 acting like she's staring at a child while still rolling. And she said she had put her hazards on, which we did see that. That was the only truth in that whole call. She did have her hazard lights on. That was the only truth. Did anyone hear if she failed school? I'm hearing that as a rumor, but I haven't heard. Yeah, I haven't seen it confirmed anywhere. Faith and Nova says there are many people with money who steal. You're right. Actually, you're right. And that's how some of them have money, because they steal it. Darius Crooks, for instance. You're right. Thank you for correcting me on that. Got a little besides myself. Okay, so then we move into the actual press conference. So I did show y'all, and I'm not going to read it just because it's basically repetitive for what we're about to hear. But on yesterday, what was it today? I'm forgetting now. But anyway, the Hoover Police Department released a public statement where they kind of gave a few bullets of new information that they were able to share. And then they told us that, you know, they were going to have an official press conference today at 2:30 Central Standard Time. And they said at that point, they were going to share things with us that they had not been able to share before. What we didn't know, I was kind of speculating, like, do y'all think they're going to drag her? And they did. Ooh, they did. So let's look at it for those of you who haven't seen it. I'm going to probably cut it off at the part where they start asking. I'm actually cut off or skip through her 911 call piece and the comments. So I'm going to just get them describing her. I'm going to get them describing what she did, well, what they discovered.
I'm Captain Keith Sescaliba. That's spelled.
I'm probably not going to be able
to get the word out.
Probably not going to be able to do a lot of fast forwarding because of the buffering.
Thank you and good afternoon for you all coming today. You know, 6 days ago, our community learned about the disappearance of Carlee Russell, and it sent fear and pandemonium not just through our city, but the entire state and the nation as well. The media quickly joined us to get the word out about Carlee. Our community sprung into action, and they organized search parties, arranged prayer vigils, and they took other steps that I'm not even aware of to help in this situation. The Hoover Police Department quickly rallied multiple partner agencies, stopping at nothing to find Carlee. I'd like to take this time to say thank you first to the Hoover Police Department, our partner agencies, our wonderful community, and to all those that aided in some way in connection with this situation. As the days have gone on and more information has been shared, we know everyone has questions. The Hoover Police Department is known for being very methodical and thorough with their investigations. For that reason, we did not feel comfortable speaking in detail publicly until now. It is important that we share this information now so that our community can be put at ease. So at this time, I'll turn the microphone over to Hoover Police Chief Nick Durzis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank everyone for being here today. Besides me stands the team who played a significant role in this investigation. I want to thank our department, members of surrounding local law enforcement agencies, the FBI, Secret Service, United States Marshals, and ALEA for their assistance in this case. We said from the evening of July 13th, our focus would be the safe return of Carlee Russell. That occurred on Saturday, July 15th, approximately 49 hours after she called 911 and disappeared. From that point, our focus has been to determine Carlee's whereabouts during that time and what exactly took place. Let me say up front, this investigation is not over. We're still working this case, and we'll be working this case until we uncover every piece of evidence that helps us account for the 49 hours that Carlee Russell was missing. However, through the public interest, and in some cases, public fear that this story has generated, we owe it to our citizens to tell them the facts that we have uncovered. So I will give you the facts that we know today. On July 13th, at approximately 8:20 p.m., Carlee left work from a business at the Summit. Surveillance video from her place of employment shows Carlee concealed a dark-colored bathrobe, a roll of toilet paper, and other items belonging to the business prior to her departure. She ordered food from Taziki's at the Colonnade and traveled there. She then traveled to Target on 280, where she purchased some granola bars and Cheez-Its. From there, she remained in the parking lot at that shopping center until 9:21 p.m. when she drove to I-459. Carlee communicated on her cell phone with individuals known to her while on her path of travel up to the point of calling 911 at 9:34 p.m. And at this time, we will play the 911 call in its entirety.
Okay, and we're going to skip over that part because we just listened to it on our own. Then we're going to get to, okay, we'll go too far. Where we at? There we go.
Carlee called a relative after speaking with the 911 operator. She went missing during that conversation sometime after 9:36 p.m. Traffic camera footage was obtained which depicted this portion of the incident, and that footage was analyzed as part of the investigation in conjunction with the 911 call and cell phone data to accurately determine the time frame. Carlee's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time. No one has called to report that a child is missing, and the Hoover Police Department did not locate any evidence of a small child walking down the interstate. Data from Carlee's phone, including her Life 360 app, shows that she traveled approximately 600 yards in her vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child. 600 yards. That is 6 football fields straight. 600 yards. The Hoover 911 Center received a second call from Carlee's mother stating that a relative was on the phone with her when they heard Carlee scream, and then they had an open phone line. Hoover police officers arrived on the scene within 5 minutes of being dispatched and several other officers arrived shortly. They located Carlee's wig and cell phone in the grass near the vehicle. Her purse was located in the front seat of her vehicle with her Apple Watch in the purse. The food she ordered for Tzatziki's was also in the car. The items she purchased from Target, as well as the items taken from her place of employment, were not in the vehicle, nor were they located anywhere around the scene. Hoover police deployed all available assets from the point in the search for Carlee. Additional resources were called in to include our own drone unit, crime scene investigators. Numerous detectives responded to the scene. Throughout the day Friday, officers from surrounded local and federal agencies assisted Hoover police in the search for Carlee Russell. Officers returned to the scene on 459 to conduct a thorough line search for evidence. K-9 teams from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department responded to check for any sign of Carlee, the child that she claimed to see, and anything else that could be considered evidence in this case. Those searches all turned up empty. Private citizens, including search parties organized by her family, friends, began looking everywhere that they could to find any trace. These searches took place throughout the day Friday and again on Saturday, yielding nothing. At 10:44 p.m. on July 15th, the Hoover 911 center receives a call from Carlee's residence stating that she returned home on foot. In subsequent investigations, detectives obtained surveillance footage of Carlee walking down the sidewalk alone prior to arrival at her residence. She was conscious and speaking with paramedics when she was transported to UAB. Detectives were able to obtain a brief statement from her prior to being treated and released. During the statement, she told detectives that while traveling down the interstate, she saw a baby walking down the side of the road and called 911. She stated when she got out of her vehicle to check on the child, a man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was checking on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she screamed. She stated he then made her go over a fence. She claims he then forced her into a car, and the next thing she remembers is being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler. She stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She also told detectives she could hear a baby crying. The male had orange hair with a big bald spot on the back. She said she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and was put in a car. She claimed she was then blindfolded but was not tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave impressions on her wrists. She said that they took her into a house and made her get undressed. She believes they took pictures of her, but she does not remember them having any physical or sexual contact. She stated the next day she woke up and was fed cheese crackers by the female. She said the woman also played with her hair, but could not remember anything else. At some point, she was put back in a vehicle she claims was able to escape while it was in the West Hoover area. She told detectives she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. During this interview, detectives noted that Carlee had a small injury to her lip, and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear on her shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right sock. Out of respect for Carlee and her family, detectives did not press for additional information in this interview and made plans to speak with her in detail after giving her time to rest. Detectives continue analyzing data from Carlee's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data included several internet searches in the days leading up to their disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term, "Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert?" was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term, "How to take money from a register without being caught," was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term Birmingham bus station was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. On July 13th at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was conducted. There were 2 searches related to Amber Alerts on a computer at Carlee's place of employment, including one regarding the maximum age of an Amber Alert. There were other searches on Carlee's phone that appeared to shed some light on her mindset, but out of respect for her privacy, we will not be releasing the content of those searches at this time. We've asked to interview Carlee a second time, but have not been granted that request. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered, but only Carlee can provide those answers. What we can say is that we've been unable to verify most of Carlee's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case. Thank you very much.
With that, we'll open the floor for some questions. Please raise your hand and I will call.
All right, so that was a lot. Even re-listening to it from earlier today, I'm like catching little pieces that are like I didn't quite put together when we heard it at first. I was like what? What the hell is happening here? Like this is a whole catfish. I wasn't expecting this. Not on this level. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting them to, talk about some mental health stuff or something like that. But let's see, the poll I had just put out there says, do you think that she should have to pay all the money back that the government spent on her search? 94% of you say yes, and 5% of you say no. So I think 5%, hey, Carlee's family and friends, because I'm sure those are the only people who might be saying, she shouldn't have to pay that money back. She was abducted by aliens. I don't know. I don't know what they believe in at this point. And then the one I just completed says, do you think she should serve jail time for this? And 78% of you say yes. 21% of you say no. I definitely think she should have consequences for sure. Part of me wants to know, not part of me, I want to know a little bit more before I lock in on, what her consequences should be. Because if there is some level of, mental health breakdown without it being clinical, if it's like clinical, it's going to make me be more lenient. Like, was there a history of this? Or it could just have been an episode that like, now she has these issues. I've seen that. I've told y'all, mental health is a major issue in my family. One-sided. Well, both sides. But one side, really, I'm like, oh, Jesus, what's wrong with them jeans? But I could be forgetting them on a public platform. Everybody's perfect in my families. Nobody's crazy. So for me, it's I need to know more so that I can see how we know the plan was purposeful. We know that it was botched and it was not, well thought out and all of that. But I want to know from a mental health perspective how much of that impacted this whole thing. Or was she just a spoiled brat who wanted to upgrade on her red Mercedes sedan and she wanted to get red Mercedes, SUV or something. And her parents wouldn't give it to her. And that's why she was stealing money from workers. I don't know. But if this was malicious on purpose, because I see so much grace out there for unmelanated people, part of me want to be like, it's our turn. So go and give her some, 5 years probation or something. Give her, 3 to 5 years community service. Actually make her community service be walking up and down that particular, Interstate 459, picking up garbage with the little thing, the little pointer thing where they jab the pop cans and stuff and put it in the bag. Sentence her to 3 years of community service on the hottest days, because they're in the South. Yeah, they're in Alabama. They're in the South on the hottest days, and have her just walk on up and down and tell her to be looking out for kids. I would lean more towards that. If she's in perfect health and this was just some straight up plot to like, I don't know, make money in some odd way, I don't know. But if this was a plan like that, then I say go and give her a year. Maybe. No, give him no more than a year. I don't know, because I'm a softie too. Like, she's harmed people in an emotional way, but not physically. There was no real child. So I don't know. But y'all y'all said, you know, let me put this. Would you be, oh, my brain's shutting down, y'all. I can't even think of how to spell would. I've been up all day. Would you be okay with community service? Typo. I spell, if it's a typo, don't ignore it. Y'all know what I'm saying, because I'm telling you. But would you, just like I just talked about, would you be okay with some years of it? I ain't talking about, you know, 3 months or something. Would 75% of y'all like, shut up, Bill. Okay, it dropped. I'm like, damn, I expected at least a few more of y'all to be siding with me. Okay, now it's looking a little closer to what I thought. I was thinking it would be somewhere closer to the middle with one side or the other. Looks like the majority, and it's jumping around a little bit. I'll wait a minute, but it's looking like it's almost even though, because it's 54% yes at this moment, 53%, 47% no. So it's almost half and half. And honestly, the main reason for me, yes, I'm pissed. Yes, I, you know, drag her for filth over the internet. The memes, the all of it, let her have it. And make it just very uncomfortable for her. I'm with all of that. But I'm just like, does she gotta go to prison for that? Make her pay for it. Make her, when somebody go missing, make her get on the search team for everybody who go missing for the next 5 years. Like, make her travel the country and speak to people about why you don't do stupid ish, you know, like this. Do that. That I can get with, because I just feel like punishments are usually harsher for us than others. And that's, I don't know. I mean, she was supposed to be a productive, you know, citizen. She was working, but then started stealing. We don't know how long she's been stealing. Know if it was just that day or it's been she's been doing it for a while. But you know, she's a nursing student. But I'm hearing she got kicked out of nursing school. You don't know what's true and what's not true at this point. But I don't know. That's just how I feel. So it's like, you know, the majority of y'all feel a little closer to me with that. Now, had there actually been a child involved or something, or somebody, I don't know, got hurt along the way, or if she actually pointed out, like got away with it to a larger degree and literally blamed it on a particular person, and that person ended up, you know, facing jail time and going to trial and all that, then I would be like, lock her up, let her see how it feels, kind of thing. But this is just like, I'm just getting, and we may or may not find out, but I'm just getting real heavy. And I think it's this picture when I saw it. Well, it's actually a couple of them, but let me see if I can find it quick. I got so many things. It's something about that picture. And I know it's an AKA picture, like, you know, but it's something that's giving me all spoiled brat. And then even, you know, her text that we saw. I got so many images and they so tiny. I need StreamYard to work on enlarging these little thumbnails so you can actually see them. For the old folks like me with bad eyesight. But like, you know, I'm just getting spoiled brat vibes. And so it's making me want to be a little lenient. I'm wondering what I feel. I would feel that way as if they're melanated, I'm going to feel this way. Yeah. And even if they aren't, if they're, you know, not melanated, I'm just a, you know, empathetic person. That's all. No tomatoes. Okay, so what we heard in the press conference, we went over this earlier today, so I'm gonna go through it a little quicker than earlier, because now at least I've wrapped my mind around it. I'm thinking most of us have wrapped our minds around, like it ain't brand new information. We've been able to digest some of it. Like, yeah, I knew it. Put that back, Alice. I didn't read it. As soon as I was about to start reading, you pulled it down. Put it back up. Your comment. But yeah, so we've been able to digest it, and you know, so yeah, it's different. It's just different. I'm not as baffled by these different points. So Alice is saying, if anyone in Vale's family is watching, he was just kidding. We know that everyone in y'all's family is sane. Yes. Anyway, so we know from the press conference that I'm lost though, because again, so maybe I haven't fully digested this because I'm about to be all over the place again. She stole toilet paper and a blue robe from her job. So I'm assuming that she left home. Maybe she left from school, but I'm assuming she left from home to go to work. She ain't had toilet paper at home. Why are you stealing toilet paper from work? Or did she not? Maybe she was planning this or pondering this idea of, abducting herself. And then she just decided while at work, I'm going to do it after work. I'm not going to go home. And she's like, but damn, I need toilet paper. And she's like, well, why would I get it at Target when I go get my Cheez-Its and granola bars? I'll just grab this roll over here. Maybe she work at a job where they keep a bunch of them in the bathroom and all that. But she stole toilet paper, and the fact that it was noted. So they watching her. They like this. And she stole the toilet paper roll. They really watching her. So she probably was already stealing, and they just started watching her every move is what I'm assuming from that. Because who notices like that somebody stole a roll of toilet paper? That's crazy. And honestly, they said she stole a blue robe because even for them to notice that, because she did work at a spa. I saw somebody questioning where did she work. We'll get into that a little bit more, but she worked at a spa, so that's where the blue robe comes in. So I'm assuming they give them to customers. Do they have to, at the end of the night, count down the register and how many robes are left? Like, I don't know. It just seems like for them to notice that is saying more about maybe how they felt about her and watching her, etc. So then we know that she went and got her snacks earlier before the press conference. I had told y'all that her going to get snacks at Target had come out, but they weren't specific about what the snacks were. And I was hoping in the press conference they would be petty enough to tell us, and they were. And I was very happy and pleased with that level of pettiness. And so she got granola bars and Cheez-Its, and that's quite a combination. And very odd because she already had, so it's like you're obviously, at that point you were planning, you were not going home, I guess, and you needed some snacks for your walk or something. Because you already had Mediterranean food. And I know some people greedy, and they will be, I'm not that kind of greedy where if I have food, like real food, I'm not craving snacks with the real food or even after, like I'm full. I'm not even thinking about that. She's obviously a different, well, we know she's a different kind of chick. We already know that from all this, but she's obviously a different kind of chick when it comes to that too. Maybe some of y'all, be thinking like that too. You're eating one meal and you're thinking about the next. Some people like that. Then, we heard the 911 call. We found out she traveled 600 yards. We saw it on the camera, on the video footage. But what we didn't know prior to this press conference was while we were watching her car just roll and kept rolling and rolling, it's like, well, where does kid at? She keep going. Why the car won't stop? We then find out, well, the reason it didn't stop was because she was on that fake 911 call, lying to the 911 operator, saying that she was literally staring at a child who had a t-shirt on and maybe Pampers, and maybe no shoes, and they were white. This is the petty side of me. I was like, at least she made all the people white. She didn't say a black man grabbed her. I'll take the wins where I can. So then she says, this man, this orange head, did I say red at first? But orange haired man came out of the trees, and she said he mumbled something to the effect that he had come for the child, and then instead swooped her up. That's where she screamed and fakely, and threw her phone. And then mysteriously, she pops up in a semi-truck. Now, she don't remember what happens from the moment she was, and throwing her phone. She just wakes up in the truck. She don't know what happened. But she says she knows the man had a orange hair with a bald head. So she can see his bald head, but she claims she got blindfolded. So I guess she saw it before she got blindfolded. So he has orange hair and a bald spot. There was a lady also on the semi truck. She never saw the lady. She could only hear the lady's voice. And then there was the baby, and she heard the baby, the mysterious baby that she said she saw on the road that the cameras never picked up. Maybe they were aliens though. Somebody did say in the chat on day one, they was like, "You're gonna apologize to me when you find out she was kidnapped by aliens." I'm starting to think now it could be a chance because her mama and the boyfriend are still saying that she was kidnapped and there is a kidnapper out there. They never said what the kidnapper looked like. And maybe aliens, because I've never seen one in person. I've only seen them depicted on TV and movies. Maybe aliens are actually orange-haired figures with bald spots. And maybe their babies are pale white and they don't wear pants. They only have diapers and shirts on. I don't know. And they don't need shoes. I mean, anything's possible with this story. You just don't know. So anyway, she then said that she was blindfolded. Didn't say by who, when, where, how. She then said that, and I'm getting as foolish as she had got with telling the story. That's I'm like, whatever. I mean, it's like all bets are off. We just make up any damn thing. So here we go. I can tell a story. I can make up a story. Like that's what I do. I create stories for you. I do videos. I'm creative like that. So we want to do that. We can do that. But anyway, so she said she was blindfolded, but not bound. They didn't do that. No need. We trust you. They told her they trust her. We just don't want you to see us, but we trust you. Just stay here. And then she said they actually told her because she was, I guess, because she had to answer when the police was like, well, did they bind you up? And she's like, no, they didn't. They said that they didn't want to leave any marks. What? Girl, you're supposed to say you don't know why they didn't. Because ain't no kidnapper finna reason with you and say, well, we're just going to blindfold you because we don't want you to see us to identify us. But we're not going to bind you because we don't want to leave any marks on your wrist. However, we will leave your bright red Mercedes-Benz running on the highway with hazard lights and your cell phone and wig and purse thrown about in the road. But we ain't going to put no marks on your wrist because we don't want to bring no attention to this. Girl, you need some help with this story. You should have Googled how to tell a real lie, how to tell a good story. Storytelling 101. That's what you should have been looking up. So many holes. So they didn't want to leave marks on her wrist. So she said. Then she said they stripped her. She never said where though, right? I don't think he said where. I mean, besides he said she was on a semi truck, but he didn't say if they transported her somewhere else or if all this happened supposedly on the semi truck, which would be very odd with a baby around and all that. So it's a lot going on. But so she's saying they stripped her clothes off and she doesn't really know what happened, but she thinks they took pictures of her. Well, what would make you think they took pictures of you? And then she says the next morning, the lady feeds her Cheez-Its. And then she figures out a way to escape. I'm like, what? Hello, how we get from wait? Huh? They stripped you, and what they do? Like, did they make you stay there, lay down? Did you get woozy and black out? Give me some pieces. Give me some pieces here because this is not making sense. So anyway, she ate her Cheez-Its for breakfast, and they gave her a continental breakfast of Cheez-Its. And they sent her on her merry way. And she wandered through the woods, like Alice in Wonderland. She wandered through the woods and found herself coming out of the bushes right into her subdivision and walked home. They haven't said if she had, I guess she must have had shoes on. She must have. She a black girl. Trust me. She has shoes on. Even if they stripped her butt naked, she was like, could I have my shoes though? So I'm assuming she has shoes on. Well, and on top of that, well, no, that don't mean that. But anyway, so she said that, she was able to figure out a way to escape. She was in West Hoover, the West Hoover area. Of course, I don't know what that's at, but she was in West Hoover area. She, the police reported that she had a small injury to her lip. I'm assuming this is her like, like, how do I get something on my lip? Like, I got to act like something happened. Like, I got to have some visible sign. Now that I've called my cousin, because this is the other rumor they saying, called her cousin and said, ooh, I messed up. This is getting worse. People looking for me. And so she was like, well, now when I return home, I got to make it look like something actually happened. I just can't come back telling the story. I got to physically look distraught. So disheveled. And so she injured her lip. Maybe it was on a branch as she was wandering her way through the woods in the dark. And maybe a branch, hit her lip or something. Who knows? Her shirt was also ripped, so she took some effort to rip her shirt. Or maybe it got snagged on a branch as she was wandering through the woods. The police also said that she had $107 in her right sock. And, I was wondering, because I was like, okay, she had money. She was with kidnappers. Kidnappers ain't take your purse. They ain't take none of your valuables. They ain't take your red Mercedes to strip it down for parts. Whatever they do with them now. Don't they still strip cars for parts, don't they? I'm sure they do. So they didn't do that. You had 100. Okay, here's another big hole for you, Carlee. Because next time, if you consider doing this again, which I advise you not to, but if you do, just take some of these pointers. You don't want to tell the police that somebody stripped you down, but then you got money, $107 in your right sock. So did they strip you of everything but your socks? Or did they strip you completely? And then after you ate your Cheez-Its, they gave you your socks with the money in it back to put on? Did they just take pictures of you and held your money to the side for a minute? You think adding up. But okay. Then, of course, her cell phone. They were able to, her cell phone was left on the scene by her car. And they were able to look in it and then see, everything that she's been doing. It's going to be interesting because if they were able to pull, the Google searches and stuff, they'll also be pulling those text messages. So chances are, if this does go to trial or something like that, which it probably won't, they probably going to end up, taking a plea, most likely, if she has a good enough attorney that advises her properly. Because if she goes to trial, she ain't going to do nothing but prolong the public dragging and more exposure. So I would advise her not to do it, even for that reason. But in her cell phone, there may be text messages and stuff, that may give us more insight of if someone else was aware of this, if other people were in on it. I have heard a rumor, and I'm not sure, I couldn't find no receipts to back it up. But now the rumor is that her and her boyfriend were texting about planning this days before. I don't know if any of you have heard of that. Y'all let me know in the chat if you have heard that rumor. I'm hoping, really, really, really hoping that no one else is involved in this, because Carlee's already going to get enough dragging. So some of the things that she Googled prior to this whole thing was, do you have to pay for an Amber Alert? So if you have somebody who does an Amber Alert on you, do you have to pay for it? And she also searched for the max age for an Amber Alert. So what's the oldest you can be in order to qualify to have an Amber Alert put out for you? She found out she's too old, but they have the, I forgot the name of it. I heard it today. I've heard it through my research. I think I heard it yesterday. There's a name. If y'all know it, put it in the chat. There's a different alert name for adults. And so she probably wasn't smart enough to search that, obviously. So then she also searched the movie Ashanti. Thank you. 48 TCO. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So it's called Ashanti. So Ashanti is the Amber Alert, or the alert, the missing persons alert for adults. I don't know if that's only isolated to women or if it's any adults. Y'all let me know that too. Okay, KK is saying it's for adults. Thank you so much. Then she also searched for one-way bus ticket out of Birmingham. Again, I missed it again, and this I wasn't paying attention. I don't know if they ever said to where. Did they ever say where she was trying to get that bus ticket to go to? Because that might be, you know, some level of information that could be useful. Nashville. Thank you so much. Tay of NYC. So it was to Nashville. So who's in Nashville? What's in Nashville? Has she been stealing money and sending it to Nashville? Because if she only needed $107 and she thought she was about to leave her life behind, it's got to be something else she was heading to. Is that what a 17-year-old boyfriend is? That, you know, allegedly. I don't know what's happening with that. And then also the fact that I mentioned, she Googled the movie Taken. That movie Taken is about a lady, young woman who was abducted and her father searched for her across the world and all of that. And so this is interesting. One of his creations is saying prego. Yeah, so I'm just like, we haven't heard confirmation of that. Now, she did end up going to the hospital. I don't think they would just automatically do a pregnancy test unless somebody requested. I don't know how that works. Interesting. Okay, I see She Sells Prosperity is saying she was heading to Nashville because it's a felony to get to terminate a pregnancy in Alabama to anywhere else. Meaning if you live in Alabama, even if you wanted to terminate a pregnancy and you travel to a different state, they still could charge you with a felony? Is that what you're saying? Because that is asinine. It's bad enough that they did that to the laws to make it illegal there, but then they really trying to own women's bodies. They also saying you can't even leave this state to have it taken care of by somebody who got sense. What? Okay. Anyway, so, and then also they said that no one else, wow, y'all saying it's a felony for, oh my God, I didn't know it was that bad. I mean, it's bad. I know it's bad, but I didn't know it was like that. How the hell are they going to control your body and you can't even leave? So you literally got to move? What? Now that's maybe making that part make more sense if she was prego and felt trapped there and was like, I got to do something. And so I'm going to go missing because I don't want to tell my parents that I'm prego by a 17-year-old. And I don't know. This is all speculation. So then she decides I'm going to run away, run to a different state, go missing versus traveling there for the, weekend or whatever and taking care of business and then coming back home. That's crazy. And how would they know if you, oh my God, y'all got me wanting to dig so much. I am going to dig deeper. Y'all got me way off now. That's crazy. That is absolute. How do they make it illegal for you to have your own choice about your body and your life? Wow, y'all blowing my mind now. Like y'all doing too much to me. I already got the Carlee thing. Y'all just put that up. Wow, I did not know that. That's crazy. There's really an attack out here, y'all. It's crazy. Also the other piece I know. So he talked about the fact that no one else on the interstate saw, any child there. No one saw any other person, et cetera, et cetera. Only Carlee saw that. And then lastly, I thought there's something interesting that I've now seen in two different press conferences with the police officials, where when this mental health question comes up, they're a little elusive with it. And when asked about, well, he wasn't asked about it, but when he was talking about the searches that she did, and he talked about, what we just talked about, the Amber Alert, the one-way tickets, the Taken movie and all of that. He said, Google other things that, I can't remember his exact words, but basically reflected her mindset. I think he said reflected her mindset during that time. And those are things he won't disclose for her privacy. That tells me that there was, again, that there is maybe some level of a mental health crisis happening here, or something going on. I don't know. That's y'all. Let me know though. Do y'all think that he's alluding to mental health thing? Are you? The poll question, I'm ending it now, says, are you in favor of the internet dragging Carlee Russell? 64% of you say yes. 35% of you say no. I'm going to add this other one in here just based on what I just thought of. Do you think the police is protecting her mental health issue or issue? Uh-oh. Good enough. So do you think, based on that press conference, either or anything else you may have seen as well, do you think that the police may know that there was a mental health component here and that they're keeping that to themselves, like they're not, or keeping it out of the public eye? So the next piece, so we're moving on from that, and that was a lot. We're moving on to what I was going to talk about earlier today, which was the situation. You know, I want to jump to that. I want to do this first. I forgot I have these clips down here. So for those of you who didn't hear, because earlier in the live when I did the poll, the majority of the people hadn't heard some of these dispatch calls. And so I pulled them in for y'all. Y'all welcome. Pulled them in so y'all can hear. So the first one that we're going to listen to is the dispatch call between the police officials in regards to the Red Roof Inn incident or situation, where the mom is saying, based on the statement we read earlier today, Carlee's mom is saying that they basically got a fake tip, and someone texted her anonymously, acting like they were Carlee and saying that they were at the Red Roof Inn. So then they run to the Red Roof Inn, her and the family, 6 carfuls of people, run to the Red Roof Inn looking for Carlee. They knocking on doors, every hotel, every room door and all of that, and they find nothing. Well, what it turned into in the social media streets was a rumor that that's where she was all the time. The family actually found out she was there, and that's why they rushed there. And they then pretty much made her come home, or she was hiding out, and once they left, she knew she had no choice but to go back home, something like that. So those are the kind of the rumors are out there in social media street, but that's where it came from. So here's the actual call that sparked that controversy.
54 unclassified complaint 14.
Give it time to buffer, I guess. Hopefully it kick back in.
66 Montgomery Highway at the Red Roof Inn. The front office, per caller, family members at this location saying they received a call from the female that's missing, Carlee Russell. 754 family members are saying they received a call from the female saying she was at this location.
754 en route.
760 1851.
32, be advised, child's now in the area of 3582 currently. The Red Roof.
52 1852.
26 of the responding units. I just spoke with the front desk clerk. They said that the family is not being hostile or anything like that, but that there was about 6 carloads of people that have just shown up over there.
5-4 copy. Did the front desk have anybody check in under that name?
Negative, and according to the front desk, the message that the family got did not state which Red Roof Inn. They don't know if it's going to be Vestavia or another location.
Okay, thank you. 52 and 5844 on scene at Red Roof.
752 754 1853. 44 on all the Red Roof. 744-1853.
Oh, no, that was the end. That was the end. I'm sitting here daydreaming, thinking there was more. But so this was one of the scenarios that Carlee's mom was saying in her statement. I'm gonna jump to that part. I should have been doing that instead of daydreaming. Here she goes. So this is where she mentions this part of the story. She says, now it's a longer statement. I'm not going to reread the whole thing just because we did it earlier. But in this part of it, she says, there's one terrible and heartless hoax we want to address out of several. So again, they got many hoax, people just playing jokes and all of that before they knew that her daughter was the real Joker. But anyway, she says, I received a text at some point from someone claiming to be Carlee and that she was at the Red Roof Inn. However, when my family went there and knocked doors and looked for her, and there was no indication Carlee was there, nor that she had ever been there. Any further question? Okay, so she was talking about this particular situation, which ended up on the dispatch call. So some of the stuff we can verify, but they're saying that Carlee was never at the Red Roof Inn. One of the polls I just closed out. Do you think the police is protecting her mental health issues? 50% of you say no, 49% of you say yes. I'm with the 49% where I think there's more to it. I just feel like I feel like every time that question comes about, they're a little elusive with it. So I think there's something to it, but we'll see. Well, maybe we will, maybe we won't. And then also, have you heard this Red Roof Inn dispatch audio? 56% of you said no. 43% of you said yes. I think earlier today it was like closer to 60 or 70. It was like 70%. So it's also probably, different group of people. Everybody ain't back here. But anyway, so the second audio we're going to play is the actual dispatch communication once Carlee had returned home after she had escaped from the semi-truck with the orange-haired man and the Cheez-Its for her continental breakfast. So here we go.
11 respond 2029 nominally passed. Unresponsive female. Quinn 11 rescue 11 nominally passed. Adult female unresponsive is breathing. Police are en route. Stage 4 police.
Engine 5 responding.
Engine 5 responding. 426.
2644, my apologies. Are you clear for traffic?
10-4.
Homewood declaring it at the time and said please advise.
10-4.
111, rescue 11 respond.
11 rescue 11 responding.
34, I sent you a 77 Ridge Crossing Department.
That was advised. I'll be on service November 2247.
13.
See if they can provide a vehicle description as well.
Yeah, we're trying to get further.
32. All right, well, 34 to 77.
29 nominally passed. Police are en route. Unresponsive female is breathing. 717, confirming you're in service.
And 4 Charlie, I'll back up.
717, 2248.
35. I'm out with 52.
2248.
23, be advised, we've got a large crowd out here in the street.
Quinn 11 on scene staging. Quinn 11 be nominally passed. Quinn 11 be advised. Scene of security, you can go on in.
Rescue 11. Gentlemen.
40, show me 23.
Gentlemen.
29 nominally passed. Police are en route. Unresponsive female is breathing. 717, confirming you're in service.
And 4 Charlie, I'll back up.
717, 2248.
35. I'm out with 52.
2248.
23, be advised, we've got a large crowd out here in the street.
Quinn 11 on scene staging. Quinn 11 be nominally passed. Quinn 11 be advised. Scene of security, you can go on in.
Receive.
Engine 5 is on scene. Huckleberry command.
Engine 5 on scene, Huckleberry command.
40 to 512.
12.
Hey, we should have all the family members that were here on the front porch.
Not only pass. Will you call X-ray 103? Have her call me, please.
Gentlemen.
11. Get her to come over here and just have her call me, okay?
Gentlemen.
Well, what time did we get this call?
Came in at 2244.
35, I'm on the scene.
And Carla, if one patient en route to UAB
Rescue 11 with additional medic. Only command terminated.
I see UAV with additional medic. Command terminated.
Control, I can use one more just for an extra body over here.
42305.
X-ray 120-10-8, en route to UAB.
Temple, all units be advised who are doing traffic on Nunnally, unless they have on their ID that address for that street, do not let them through for 13.
904.
904.
Anomaly for traffic control.
Temple.
Rescue 11 out of UAB.
I'm out of UAV.
538, be advised, 423, I'm going to be without radio inside.
Can I have my traffic unit switched to 5 with me? 13, I got a heavy traffic unit and it cut off at the end. I need my unit there on traffic. Switch to 12 with me. 10-4, all traffic control units, switch to channel 12. 13. Currently we have 34, 32, 904, and 40 at that location. 38 at the hospital. We have nothing holding though, correct? Tell them the unit to take care of whatever we have. Cool, thank you.
Rescue 11 is complete, UAB.
11 complete UAV.
X-ray 122, show me out at 2029 Anomaly.
Spoke with the individuals. They're heading in for the night cleaning up.
Yeah.
So that was the actual dispatch communication between the law officials after her family, Carlee's family, had called to say she's returned. You know, God is good. He answered our prayers. She came home from her weekend of fun. An odd level of fun, especially if she was out looking like that. They said she didn't have a wig on, so maybe she looked like that. I still don't know. Was there another wig? I'm questioning that. But anyway, so as you see from that there was a large commotion. And when we heard, I played this video or this audio on, what is today? When? On Monday, if I'm not mistaken. And at that point, I wasn't sure if this was actually audio about her or just some lady in general in Birmingham that happened to be that around the same time. Because I'm like, they never said a name. They didn't give any names, any specific information, but it was put together that yes, that was in fact communication about her. And part of the conversation we had a little earlier today was the report initially that the person who called 911 said, Carlee's here, we have her, but she's unresponsive or she's not responding. They said something to that effect that made the 911 operator communicate it to the police and emergency professionals as she is unresponsive but breathing. So they unconscious rather, but what they said unresponsive, but people, including myself, twisted it to like, oh, she's unconscious. She was unconscious. But no, what we're thinking is that she just wasn't responding to them. So she was doing the whole dramatic, oh, so out of it. And they like, Carlee, you okay? And she, like she act, you know, she got to act it out. This, and they like, talk to us. You okay? Who did this to you? And she, like, she had to, you know, play it up. So she wasn't responding to them verbally, and it got miscommunicated as she was unconscious. So she was not unconscious. So yeah, that's pretty much that with that part of it. So now we're going to move on to what I wanted to talk to y'all about. It was a part of this morning's or this afternoon's live. I was going to share with you the statement from her boss, the one who she stole the toilet paper and blue robe from. He actually did a statement yesterday afternoon, and it was kind of interesting that he put out his statement at 3:15 yesterday afternoon, and Carlee's mom, and it could have been a total coincidence, but I did just still find it interesting that Carlee's mom put out her statement. It was like at 4 something. I was trying to find it again. I got so many notes for y'all. Y'all know I come with it. When I research, I treat every video, especially these live streams, like a college term paper, like I'm doing a dissertation. Anyway, it's I know from my memory, it was around 4 something. Yeah, okay, I just found it. Around 4:10 p.m., her mom sent out her statement, which was like her additional statement. In addition to, they had just, her and her husband had just went on the Today Show earlier that day. So really, you should have been making all your statement in that. But she came later with a written statement, and then the Hoover Police Department came with their statement saying, tap, tap, tap. Hey, y'all, this is what we can tell y'all so far. And then tomorrow, we're going to drop the mic on this situation. And so I think that there was communication going on behind the scenes. Well, he did. And the chief did say that he basically communicated to the family like, hey, we got to address this to the public because people are getting worried. It's bringing pandemonium and all of that. This ain't just isolated to your little family. And we get what you're saying, but we going to have to say something. We can't just wait until she finally figures out a new version of this story that hopefully somebody will buy, but we won't. So I think the mom, Carlee's mom, Talitha, I think she was trying to put this out in time to be like, well, whenever they put out what they're the truth, whenever they put the truth out, at least I put something more updated out. And it was more detailed than a lot of other things she said so far. And then she did say to us, and I wasn't going to read this part, but let me find it real quick. Because remember, I told y'all earlier today, she was snapping on y'all. I said us, but she was talking to y'all. She wasn't talking to me. Yeah, am I going to reread the whole thing? Because it's going to be hard for me to find what I was trying to find. Okay, here we go. This is where she started to check y'all and gaslight y'all. So she says, and lastly, when we initially asked for help of the public in searching and praying for Carlee's safe return, we asked for sincere prayers, not prayers or support that came with strings or entitlement. So get out our effing business. And she then went on to say, she talked about they hadn't authorized any GoFundMe's. So if there are any out there, they're a lie. So she like, we ain't want y'all money. Quit lying on us. And then she says, please understand our mental state and anguish we have just experienced, and that Carlee is still dealing with the understanding that no matter how many demands or false narratives that are produced, we will not be bullied into doing anything that will compromise our daughter's mental well-being or the investigation of her. Because that's all we need. That's all that's left. The storyline investigation has already been solved. That case is closed. Next case, that's solved. The only thing left to investigate is Carlee. Carlethia, Carlee, Nichole Russell, or whatever her name is. That's all that's left to investigate. So she's saying that she doesn't want to cause any issues to the investigation of her daughter. And she says also, she's just checking y'all left and right and gaslighting y'all. But she's checking y'all. She said, and also, we will not entertain negative social media comments with a response. So you find someone else to do it. God has been too good to us and brought our daughter safely home, and we will not participate in allowing this moment to be tainted by y'all toxicity. I'm adding that part. She said tainted. I'm adding the rest. Y'all toxicity on these YouTube videos, these live videos where you popping up pictures of my daughter with her regular hair without the lace fronts and dragging her for filth and creating memes, calling her Carlee Smollett, creating taken posters with my baby's face on it, creating somebody called this the card. I can't read. Can I say it up there? It got a little caption. I forgot. They're calling it the Carlee kit or something. The Carlee taken kit. Oh, I love social media. It's so this is on Twitter. Y'all, if y'all don't know Twitter, that's where you go for the ratchetness. That's the Black Twitter. Oh my God, I love it. I love it over there. Those are my people. As long as they talk about me, they my people. But these are just some of the things that I showed y'all that. That's a throwback. That was one of the first ones to come out. But yeah, this is what y'all doing to her daughter. And she's like, y'all get out our F business. We didn't ask y'all to pray and help find her so y'all could be attached and feel entitled to get information. Screw y'all. We got our daughter back. We got what we wanted. Screw y'all. That was what she was saying. So anyway, she did her statement. after the boss had it, and I ain't gonna say boss, but at least I guess he's her manager or something. Let me see. He'll tell us. So I have here another significant statement came from C. Stewart Rome, the owner. Okay, he's the owner of the Woodhouse Spa in Birmingham. I was trying to find a picture and read at the same time, trying to multitask. Lost some place. Birmingham, where Carlee worked. Rome highlighted the impact of Carlee's disappearance, of what the disappearance had on the spa's employees, who worked diligently to keep guests satisfied while dealing with the emotional weight of missing their coworker and the money she took. They ain't say that part. I added the money she took. Anyway, they assured the public that all information uncovered by the spa has been handed over to the Hoover Police Department. The inventory list of the missing toilet paper and the missing blue robe and however much cash, $107, I guess, that was missing, at least of that day. And they have confidence in the investigators leading the case. That's because they had already solved the case. They like, oh, y'all know what y'all doing. So this is his official statement. He says, in response to the many inquiries Woodhouse Spa Birmingham has received over the past several days regarding Carlee Russell's case, we offer the following. Our greatest concern has always been the well-being of Carlee and her safe return. Woodhouse Spa employees have been deeply impacted by the events that transpired, but are now ecstatic with the news that of Carlee's return home. Our employees worked extremely hard, though through very tough times, keeping guests happy while dealing with the fact that their coworker was missing. We've been working with the Hoover Police Department since Friday morning, the morning following Carlee's disappearance, in order to come up with any information that would help the investigation. Everything we uncovered is in the possession of the Hoover Police Department. Did they get the toilet paper? They get the toilet paper and a blue robe. We understand the investigation is in a very sensitive state, meaning they can't tell y'all that she is straight up scammer, that she didn't straight up bamboozled y'all, hoodwinked y'all. So it's a very sensitive state. Because again, this was before the press conference. This was before the press conference, and this was before the police put out their last statement to even announce that there was going to be a press conference. So at this point, he's still trying to hold everything back, already knowing at least the basics of this part of the story. He says, and we do not want to release any details that could jeopardize the investigation. Again, the only investigation left, in my opinion, is investigating Carlee Russell. But he says leaks, both true and untrue, can have a devastating impact on any investigation. That is fact. That is factual. It ain't gonna stop millions of people from talking about this, but it is factual. He goes on to say, we understand there are many posts on social media claiming certain information to be true. Some items are factual while others are not. Please rest assured, like what's factual is that there was no child. There was no toddler out there. Please rest assured that the Hoover Police Department is working around the clock to bring this case to a conclusion. Yeah, we can see they did. They did the damn thing. They definitely did. We have great confidence in the investigators and expect a resolution soon. He already knew it. He already knew. He's like, we already know. We just waiting on them to tell y'all. But please, in the meanwhile, quit bothering us. We ain't got nothing for you. Police gonna do a mic drop press conference. Wait on it. It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be epic. And it was. It did not disappoint. It was the best movie of the year. I just did a poll, so let's see what this poll says. And then I'm gonna get to y'all comments. We're wrapping this up now. Well, I'm wrapping my part up, and then we'll do some. Yeah, we can do some comments for a while. My question was, have you heard this dispatch audio of Carlee's returning home on Saturday? 55% of you said no. 44% of you said yes, you had already heard it. So that's good. I'm glad I played it for the 55%. And then some of the 44 probably wanted to hear it again to reanalyze it like I'll be doing. So then we get into the receipts, reviewing the receipts of the truths and the lies as the owner of the Woodhouse Spa, Carlee's former employer, because even if she was employed as of Thursday or even as of Saturday when she was missing, I'm pretty sure she's not employed there anymore. So as he was saying that there are a lot of things out there, both true and false, and we went over what we knew of at that time, Monday. I don't know. It's blurred. I think it was Monday. Maybe it was Tuesday. But we went over the information that we had at that point. And so what we're going to do is revisit some of that for those who weren't around. And now we can tell what's true. We got way more insight than we had. Now, there's still some things that we just won't be 100% sure of right now. But there's some stuff in here that's like, oh, ish, that was right on point. So one of the first things was this text message exchange that I read to y'all that I said it's out there on social media. It's anonymous. It has nobody's name. And so we don't, and it's two people communicating, but we don't know who these people are. But what I could tell by the time we got towards the end was that these were allegedly people who worked in the police department, whether they were officers or just, clerical staff, etc. Obviously, they worked, they're alluding to that they work at a police department. But I was like, that don't mean this could be totally made up. People Photoshop stuff and all of that. But now that the mic drop has been done, I'm like, ooh, ish. Some of this stuff we know for fact now is true. And other things is like, oh, that must be some behind the scenes stuff that still ain't got out. There was another thing that I heard, and I'm not sure if it's true. No, it's so much out here. Is that over 50 people were fired from the Hoover Police Department for sharing private information about this case. I don't know how true that is, but I'm hearing it's been on TikTok and stuff. So that's another little tidbit. But again, when I don't have receipts to prove it, like I ain't seen no press conference, I ain't seen no official documents noting people who've been terminated or anything. But that's what word is on the street. So anyway, so this was a text message we read, and it says, Captain of Hoover Fire Department. She got caught stealing from work that day, failed out of nursing school, and has been on drugs. Now, we know she stole from work. That part now has officially been confirmed by the police during the press conference we just re-listened to just now. But the part that has not been confirmed is the failing out of nursing school, which I've been hearing buzzing around. And I definitely hadn't heard anything about drugs. They did mention in the press conference, and I didn't play that part this evening, but we watched it earlier today, that they did ask about if she was tested for drugs or whatever. And I think he said he didn't know. He didn't have any information on that, I think is what he said. So that's inconclusive at this point. So this person goes on to say she had her friend behind her, and that's who picked her up. She was with her friend all weekend. The police knew she was safe because she blocked her ex-boyfriend weeks ago, and she added him back while she was abducted. Again, he called the cops to tell them half a day before she went back home. She planned to disappear, realized that this wasn't going to work. It's wild. These pieces are adding up. Now, again, when I first read this, I'm like, oh, there's another rumor. I don't know if this is true. Can't tell you where it came from. We don't know the source. Ain't no names on it, et cetera, et cetera. And now that we read it, we know some of this to be factual. So then it makes us wonder the stuff. And I'm only saying like the other stuff I'm going to say I don't know because we don't have a receipt to back it up. The police did not mention anything about the ex and them, him being the ex-boyfriend and her blocking and unblocking over the weekend. But they just seemed like they knew fairly quickly that this wasn't it. It wasn't what it was being made out to be. So it could be once they got information from the ex-boyfriend, who's still claiming to be her boyfriend on social media, or at least he was while she was missing. That's a whole thing. But anyway, it's wild. And then supposedly a friend picked her up. So I would assume that, again, I'm probably going to have to do like a Google Earth search because I would love to know when you leave the interstate. I don't know if she would have had to walk Maybe she walked along the side of the trees, like real close to the foresty part. Maybe she didn't walk into it, or maybe she walked barely into it and then walked towards the exit, and that's where someone was waiting on her. Because we did not see any other cars pull over in front or behind her. But it is possible that a person was waiting further away and she just had to walk, she was conveniently, and actually, when you think about this, conveniently, this was happening right before an exit. Conveniently, she kept rolling her car. She's like, well, I ain't gonna walk this far. I ain't gonna walk that far. I'm gonna get a little closer to this exit. So she pulled herself closer and closer to where that exit was ahead of her. So I don't know how far of a walk that would be from where her car was left to that exit ramp. Interesting. So anyway, they go on to say she stole money from her work. We now know that to be true as well. And there was a completely fabricated story. Hoover just hit her phone and reviewed the video of the Red Roof Inn of her checking into the room. Okay, so now, whereas before I was like, okay, they saying that's a lie. And that had me thinking of Dreamgirls. When I said that's a lie, it had me thinking that song came in my head. This random Aries mind, I tell y'all. But anyway, so maybe she did check into, because again, if all that stuff we just read, and this is still a part of the same text thread from what we can tell, she checked into the hotel and they reviewed the video. The police reviewed her phone and the video of the Red Roof Inn, her checking into it. But the family straight up denying it. Even her mama is saying that they, some horrible people did a hoax on her. But also there was put into question that did the family go to the right Red Roof Inn? And I don't know how many are out that way and all of that. So that was also brought into question. Again, some of this, it's still coming together, and some of this we'll never have answers to. So this person then says, oh my Lord, I figured something shady was happening. I just want to know, did her family know or was in on it? This person then goes on to say, no, they didn't. They tried to deny the Red Roof Inn story as it unfolded because they knew she was bull BS. I was about to say it. I'm on YouTube. I can't say it. And didn't want the embarrassment. Wow. So that would mean, so obviously the gray bubble is the person who actually works in the police department, and they are giving this insight to who I don't know. Well, from what I recall from reading it the other day, this is another person who works in the government as well in some capacity. If this is true, this part here where she says, no, the family didn't know. They tried to deny the Red Roof Inn story as it unfolded because they knew she was BS and didn't want the embarrassment. Well, this embarrassment is just, it's epic. She's brought shame upon the family for sure. But I hope the mama ain't lying. Like, just leave that. She could have left that part out of her statement then. If it's true that they did in fact find Carlee there or realize that she was there and she was hiding out. Now the version of that story I heard was that Carlee was hiding out in the hotel. They didn't find her, although they were there. She then, once she realized, hey, I'm not gonna be able to get away with this, then went home, like at some point after that. So this person then responds and goes on to say, oh man, that's horrible for her family. They seem like well-off family, but she's gonna get ate alive once those details are public and spread around. They're right. It's happening now. We're in that moment now. We're living it. She's getting ate alive. She's getting drugged. And she says, of course, I'm not gonna. I said she. I don't know if it's she or he, but they say, of course, I'm not gonna say anything. I just meant in general. And then the person responds, yep, as she should. So they like, drag her, finish her. They like, take her out. Oh, it's so much, y'all. This is a Lifetime movie. Y'all know this is a Lifetime movie. Y'all know that there's a writer's strike now. So maybe next year, sometime next year. I was gonna say in 6 months because Lifetime pop them movies out like that. Next year, summer 2024, there's gonna be the Carlee Russell story on Lifetime TV. I guarantee you. You could hold me to that. This is a straight up Lifetime movie. Or BET Plus. Or it might be BET Plus because Tyler Perry might grab it first. Oh, it's Megan just put Tyler Perry Productions down there. The problem with Tyler Perry is it's going to be poorly written, but that's a whole nother story. I got to stop messing with Tyler. I love Tyler Perry, though. I do. I just don't like his rushing through these storylines because they don't hold my attention because I'm a sharp thinker. And so I get my mind be like, this don't make sense. And I'm too busy critiquing it to enjoy the content. So then I can't watch it. Whole thing. So then I don't know if these are the same people. Again, it's all anonymous. I don't know those sort of details, but this is a text thread between some people who happen to have some insight. And they say, somebody says, here's the update. She's sticking to she was abducted. So this is after she's now been found, or she found herself back at her home, ringing the doorbell. So they said she's sticking to she was abducted. She says she was lured into the woods by some people who lived in the woods. What? Described they were woods people. Oh, because aliens, maybe the new aliens live in the woods. Maybe they don't fly on spaceships, or maybe when they come in a spaceship, they land in the woods where we can't really see them, and then they abduct people, and then that's why they stripped her. They were examining her because they say that the aliens will abduct you. They'll examine your body, and they're like, like they're examining you, and then they release you. And they, with them being aliens, like from ET days, like I grew up in the time where ET, Extraterrestrial was a big movie. I loved ET and all of that. So if I remember correctly, when I was younger and we used to watch alien movies, for some reason they were always into snacks. I forgot ET had like a favorite little snack too, because I feel like they had commercials and branding around. I mean, now that I'm older, I know it was just all branding, but because they were like, well, let's make the alien, this character, be interested in a kid snack, because then we can get the kids who love the character to buy the snacks and tell their parents they want snack. And I was one of them kids. But so they didn't know no better. They didn't know that Cheez-Its ain't real food for us humans, that it's a snack. And they like feeding her Cheez-Its. And they were examining her. So now this is making sense. Ain't it making sense? Do I need to do a poll that it makes sense? Makes sense now, don't it? Right. E.T. phone home. Unfortunately, she left her phone by her car, so she couldn't phone home. Anyway, let me stop being silly. So she described it does sound like she's describing aliens, though. She said the woods people. Woods people. Woods people who lived in the woods. Anyway, described a person with orange hair, balding on top, and tied her up and drove her around and put her in an 18-wheeler and fed. So they had the story, and y'all, this came out before the news conference. I read this 2 days ago. When y'all let me know, I forgot. But I read this like 2 days ago. So this is telling you these are people behind the scenes. They know what they're talking about. So now that's making me say these other pieces that didn't come out in the press conference, but that are in this text thread, the one that we just read too, are probably very probable. This is interesting, y'all. Gotta love the receipts. Gotta love the receipts. So fed her Cheez-Its for 2 days. I forgot I read this. And they painted her nails. That proves that it's aliens, y'all. It's aliens. Because our kidnappers would not paint your nails. But an alien would be like, maybe they saw it in her purse before they threw it on the ground. And they like, oh, we're going to grab this thing. And then they like, So they painted her nails. Kidnapper painted her nails. She was all over the place in the story. Like, girl, Maybe because she had painted her nails at the Red Roof Inn Hotel over the weekend and hadn't thought that part through, that people would notice that her nails were freshly painted and you're supposedly been abducted and traumatized for 49 hours. And she's like, they painted them. They painted them. Carlee girl. Oh, Jesus. I'm kind of happy that she probably will never be a nurse, because I'd be scared to let her nurse on me if she thinks like that. Oh, Jesus. That elevator ain't going all the way to the top. But anyway, so they kept her on 150 somewhere. So I guess that's a interstate highway or road. So they kept her on 150 somewhere, and somehow she manages to get away and runs through the woods. I thought she was already with the woods people. In the woods and with the woods people. So how you run through the woods if you was already in the woods with the wood people? Anyway, she runs through the woods to her neighborhood until she gets to her house and then goes to the hospital. So we know they took her to the hospital. Says Hoover got some Ring doorbell footage. We knew that was going to happen from her neighborhood. And it just shows her walking casually until she gets close to her house. And then she starts sprinting and furling her arms and acting a fool. Oh, I can't wait. Please, whoever got this Ring footage, please, we need it. We need it to complete ourselves. We need it. Please bring it. Give it now. Give it now. And I promise y'all, as soon as I see it, or if y'all see it for me, send it to me. But I swear, as soon as I see it, I'm going live. Gotta watch. We got to do a watch party of the Ring footage of her. No, casually walking. And then, oh, I'm almost home. Oh my God, girl. Oh my God. She is, I'm going with spoiled brat. Like mental health, but spoiled brat too. There's some major things going on here. So anyway, they're not done. They're not done. They still talking. So they go on to say, and I guess that was the person's name that got blocked out, with Hoover fire. So I've got the pre-hospital and at hospital side of things as well. Like they're getting all the tea. And they had it 2 days ago. And they said the side of things as well as the Hoover PD. So they're getting it from the hospital. They're getting it from the EMTs, the hospital staff, and the police. They got the 360 of this. Only people they ain't got is Carlee and her family, and they ain't talking no way, so you ain't missing nothing. Says, if I knew we wouldn't lose our jobs, which I need to feed our children, I would tell you all the tea, but I'm 99% sure, with evidence to prove it, this girl had a psychotic break and has fooled the entire nation. Mind blown emoji. Like this job has made me stone cold. I don't believe a word that comes out of anyone's mouth anymore. They will play you for a fool. I mean, this person is laying it out. I hope they didn't lose their job, because this might be one of the 50 people, because they didn't lay it all the way out. They're saying, I doubt the public will get anything more than she's home, safe and getting some help she needs. And that'll be it, LOL. If this girl was actually abducted for trafficking, she would have been halfway across the country by now. We know that. We know that. This is really loud, y'all. Okay, so that's that part of it. So we got people who are behind the scenes who were putting those pieces together. They're able to tell us like, hey, well, they ain't telling us. They talking amongst themselves. They doing water cooler talk. And I don't know which one of them decided to screenshot and share it, but it got out. But the person's name ain't shown, so I guess, maybe they still good. So that's their part of it. And let me do this though. Let me do this, because when I first read it, we didn't know these other pieces. There was no press conference, mic drop. Let me see. Do you believe the text message story? Y'all answered this poll question. I'm gonna jump off camera real quick to turn my air on because these lights get me hot real quick. I'll be right back. It's like literally a couple seconds. You won't even miss me. I'm back. Oh, that ain't what I was trying to do. There you go. I'm back. So now we move on from that. Y'all letting me know whether or not y'all believe this text message version. Again, there's a lot of things in the text message that align with what we just learned today. And this, again, was out 2 days ago. So they did not get this information from the press conference. If anything, the press conference got this information from them. But anyway, so then there's the other part of the story about her and her boyfriend breaking up, which in this text message, they talked about wait, what's that? What did I read that about the ex-boyfriend? Yeah, that was in this text message about her blocking her ex-boyfriend, who I'm assuming, and I'm just taking a guess, that they're talking about this guy. What's his name? Tamar. They're talking about him, who was on social media professing his gratitude for everyone, searching for her. And he's so happy she's back because he wouldn't, he was laser focused on tunnel vision until he saw her face again. Well, if y'all was broke up, you hadn't saw her face for a while anyway, I'm assuming. I don't know. Anyway, there's some gaslighting going on. I'm just not sure to who's all involved, because some of this could be people doing stuff for the purpose of their image and not that they are a part of the ruse, the Ponzi bamboozling scheme that well, it ain't a Ponzi scheme, but the bamboozling that Carlee came up with. Maybe they're not a part of that, but maybe because they're attached to it, they're trying to like protect their image or something like that. And so they could be, omitting things or kind of telling white lies to, stay clear in a way. It ain't gonna help, because if people find out the truth, then they're gonna drag you and not believe anything you say. That's how social media works. So anyway, so in regards to that piece, there are people who have been talking about that. And one of them is this message. So they say, okay, so a source said, allegedly, I don't know none of these people, by the way, Carlee's boyfriend broke up with her and she wanted to do something drastic. But when it blew up that, she went home. She made a call to her cousin from the hotel saying, I effed up. It wasn't supposed to go this far, and I think I'm in trouble. Yes, yes, and yes. You effed up, yes. It wasn't supposed to go this far. Yes, it should never have. And you think you're in trouble, you were correct. Very much so. And then they said, this is how the Red Roof Inn came into the equation and why her family showed up there. But the mom is in her statement telling us that it was a lie set up by Todd to come to us with the BS. That's what the mama said. Mama blaming it on Todd. This ain't looking good. Man, I hope that mama ain't out here. I know she gaslighting, but man, I'm hoping it ain't that bad. I'm hoping that she ain't just making up ish. It's just not, because the truth will come out. Oh my God. Family legacy just in the toilet. It's gonna take them 2 generations to recover from this. Carlee's kids ain't gonna be able to live this down. Her kids ain't gonna be able to live this down. Maybe that next generation have be able to forget. The internet never forgets, but they might not know that there's a relation between a great grandma and the story of the idiot who had the whole nation looking for her when she was in a Red Roof Inn eating Cheez-Its and painting her fingernails because her boyfriend broke up with her and she wanted attention, I guess, and was pregnant by a 17-year-old. I don't know. I guess all those pieces we'll figure out by then. So this person, somebody posted what they allege is proof that there was an issue between Carlee and her boyfriend, and I guess him breaking up with her. And so there was this IG direct message between Carlee and someone who was, I guess, talking to her boyfriend. And so she tells the person, bitch, please. He told me everything you said about me. And this is Carlee, y'all. This ain't the other person. So we clear. This is how Carlee get down when she not abducted by aliens, redhead, orange-haired, bald aliens, wood people aliens. So she says, bitch, please. He told me everything you said about me, and you thought I told him to say that. I wasn't even with him. You're delusional AF. If you think y'all little conversation was anything more than convenient, and the fact that he used you to get back at me out of anger, you want to talk about I don't compare to you on your worst day? Girl, bye. You're miserable, or at least you should be a stripper to provide for your child. I've heard you a hoe from multiple sources, from multiple people. So not surprised you don't know who your baby daddy is. Mention me or contact my ninja again, and you'll see I'm not the one to play with. You don't want you and your whole family touched. You're poor. I'm rich. You're a stripper. I'm a nurse. You're ugly. I'm bad as F. You could never, pitiful bottom barrel asshole. Now go strip for a Happy Meal. I love a good read. I'm sorry. I love a good read. It's petty AF. It's petty, it's immature, and all of that. But it gives you insight into the type of person that Carlee is behind the veil. The cute sorority girl with the lace fronts and the little nurse pose. I'm so educated. I'm going to be a nurse. Like, and then she's like, bitch, please. You raggedy bottom barrel. Like, this one looks like she would do that, though. This is like a mean girl. That look like a mean girl. Like a campus mean girl. You know, y'all, those of y'all who, you know, went away to school and stuff, y'all know the campus mean girls. She looked like one of them. I'm sure she was. Anyway, I don't know her. Let me stop. So anyway, so we have that. Again, that's all to it. We don't have it. It's not elaborated. I don't have no pictures of the person, and I don't have no real backstory of who the girl was and how long he talked to her and when they met. And I don't know none of that. Not yet. I guess it might come out one day. Budget weddings, said Babel. Okay. Let me go away. Am I acting up too much? So we now move on to the other rumor that was out there. So again, remember, we're going through the receipts of the what's fake, what's real, and now we're just revisiting the stuff so we can kind of pull out the pieces that we can say, oh, this is now adding up. This aligns with the press conference. This aligns with that piece we heard, you know, all of that. It's very convoluted. It's a lot to it. This little girl, she's 25 years old and she lived way more life than me. Y'all can't come up with this many receipts on my life and my behavior unless y'all just want to do my professional resume, which would be boring as AF. But if you're trying to pull my life together, I don't have this much going on. I don't have these things. I've lived a very simple life. I guess that's why I report on other people's lives. So anyway, there's the rumor about her being pregnant, as we've mentioned a couple times, preggo, by a 17-year-old. There has been some conversation. I don't know if it's in this text message or not. I don't think. Let me read it first, and then I'll do the commentary. So anyway, this person says, this is my state, Alabama, and word is, I'm just repeating what I've heard. There's a lot of that. I'm just repeating what I've heard, as I don't have any personal knowledge about it, that she's preggo, and the baby daddy is only 17, and she's 25 with a serious boyfriend. And she did this to run off with him for a couple days. People saw her at a local hotel. Excuse me. That was dinner. People saw her at a local hotel, and not long after that, an hour or so, she returned home. If this is true, she obviously had no idea it would get so much attention. I'm glad she's okay, but I definitely think something's up. But again, this is what I'm hearing and seeing on social media. So yeah, this is aligning with. I'm starting to lean towards the Red Roof Inn story. There's a lot more to it than what they have disclosed. I think there's a lot more to it now. And I don't know if there's just some discrepancies and some stuff, but there's a lot of people pointing to, oh, she was spotted at the hotel and people seen her, blah, 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 all of that. But anyway, as far as the 17-year-old, I did see comments yesterday in that live, and I don't know if I talked about it or if I read it after the live as I was rewatching some of it. But anyway, someone was mentioning about 17-year-old and that would that be illegal? I think we talked about it. Y'all let me know. Did we talk about it? That they said that yes, we did. We did. Now it's coming back to me. Where you guys were saying that in Alabama, legal age is 14. So that means that if she was in fact pregnant by a 17-year-old, she wouldn't face any legal consequence. Okay, Toysby is saying that 16 is the age of consent in Alabama. I swear I saw 14 yesterday. I swear they were putting 14. But okay, thank you. So either way, it looks like she's clear with that piece. If this is true, that she wouldn't be facing any criminal charges. Moral clause, maybe. Oh, okay. What? That makes no sense. Lotus is, I'm not saying you don't make sense, but the law doesn't make sense. Let me pull it up in live chat. Where is it? Lotus is saying that in Alabama, it's the marriage consent is 14 years old, and consent, I guess, if there's no marriage involved, is 16. That makes zero sense as far as the laws are. So does that mean that they have not updated the law since the 1800s? Is that what I'm hearing? That's crazy. You can get married at 14, but you can't freely indulge in whoopee. Even though I believe both of those are a little too young. I believe it needs to be raised up. What is it, 18 here, I think, in Illinois? And Indiana, I don't know what it is in Indiana. I should know. Okay, thank you for letting me know. We heard that yesterday in the chat. Well, I'm looking at your comment anyway, Lotus, that we talked about that yesterday. As soon as I clicked on it, I was about to click on it, jumped the whole chat. I was trying to click on that. Okay, so anyway, just a couple things, and then we're going to get to y'all comments. Okay, so we got that. And then let me go to this one. The other one we have is this person is saying, look on my page on the live. I bet, thank you, or whatever. So they're saying she, as in Carlee, was at a public event yesterday, and that's why she went home, because numerous people saw her. I'm finna see if I can find the page it was on. Her best friend said she was with her 17-year-old baby father at the hotel, but she promised her she wouldn't tell anyone. I guess a friend got tired of lying and leading people on. And then this person responds, huh? Girl, she grown. AF. Why lie about that though? I don't know why people, I don't know why. Wait, I don't know. These young people writing. I don't know. Probably someone gave her some hush money or threatened her if she told. Probably, and they're talking about the best friend. Probably threatened the best friend if they told. So that's all I got for now. As far as all the rumors, speculation, all that stuff, we have officially made it to the end of that. And so I'm going to jump to y'all comments and see what y'all have been talking about in relations to that. I guess I'll put the whole family up there. Now I'm gonna just put her. She's the one, because I don't know if they have anything to do with this. Let me put this up here. Because she's being real raggedy, so I'm gonna put her raggedy picture up there, because this behavior is very raggedy, very raggedy. I'm going to close out this poll that we have up here. Do you believe the text message story? 69% of you actually do believe it. 31% of you think that, I guess you don't believe it at all, or at least pieces of it you don't believe. Okay. Okay. So I am going to do this story real quick. I was backing out of it in my head. Like, I ain't got to go over this, but I'm going to do it because it's informative. And I like to inform over here as well. So we did talk about the situation with Crime Stoppers on yesterday as well. And the fact that Crime Stoppers, the rumors were going back and forth, like that they were refunding the money at first. And then people were like, oh my God, they saying they're not going to refund the money. And then we clarified that there was a statement put out by Crime Stoppers Alabama, who said, or Birmingham, who said that they were going to keep all the money because the case hadn't officially been closed. However, if you donate it and you want your money refunded, you just need to request it, and they will refund your money in full without any fees. However, they're not going to automatically do it because, as far as they're concerned, the case is still open because they hadn't been told by the police anything otherwise. But at first, they jumped the gun when she had returned home. So that was the conflict. They jumped the gun like, oh, she's home. But then when the police was like, oh, we're still investigating, then it was like, oh, okay, wait, let's not get the money back because maybe there's still someone on the loose. We know that that's not the case. But anyway, so the interesting part of that is one of our people sent me an Instagram message. And follow me on Instagram if you don't. Let me put my social media stuff. I've been bad with that. Is that on here? Anyways, it's in the pinned comment at the top of the chat. That's the link you can go to, and it'll take you straight to all the places where you can follow me and stay in touch with me, social media platforms and everything, all of it. And then it'll also be pinned in the first comment below this video and also in the description area for those of you who may be watching the replay, because it won't show up as a pinned comment in the replay. But anyway, so we were talking about Crime Stoppers, and something that I heard due to one of our people sending me a video clip is that Crime Stoppers has rules about how you end up qualifying to receive a reward from them. And so I was like, okay, I do need to share this just in case any of our people end up in a situation where you're wanting to report something and you're hoping to get that reward from Crime Stoppers. The thing is, you can't call 911. You actually have to call Crime Stoppers. And so I'm going to play this story for you of a couple who unfortunately found this out the hard way.
Fugitive and then call 911 to report him seems like one of the very reasons the
it's buffering.
Crime Stoppers reward program exists. But it turns out if you call 911 instead of the tip line, you don't qualify for that reward.
We both looked at each other and we both said, isn't that guy?
The Jordans were coming home from lunch July 7th when they noticed a face they recognized from the news and a Crime Stoppers billboard, 41-year-old Leonard Neal.
He had on the same outfit as one of the pictures that was circulating on social media.
With 6 children of their own, the Jordans had taken a good look at the man accused of abducting a 9-year-old boy and 7-year-old girl. Police say he released the boy, but the girl was missing for 12 hours. Police say he sexually assaulted her.
That could have very easily been our oldest 2 kids.
The Jordans did not just call police. Once Neal got on the bus, they knew they needed to follow it. After getting disconnected from 911, a Dallas police officer called Kenyatta Jordan.
And once we made that right on Pope, he said, oh, that's y'all in that minivan. I'm like, yes, sir. He said, okay, well, we pulling up right behind you so y'all can get out the way now.
Before police arrested Neal, he cut his throat. Police later released this mugshot.
I felt confident that it was him, but I just wasn't 100%. But then I let the window down, and I heard him on there screaming. I said, that's him, baby. That's him.
Later, the Jordans learned about the Crime Stoppers reward that had been offered for Neal, a most wanted fugitive. But when they asked about it, they were told they were not eligible because they called 911 instead of the Crime Stoppers number.
Does it seem like a bait and switch?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. We dialed 911 instead of the Crime Stoppers phone number. We're not able to get the reward.
As police work to build trust with the community, the Jordans say this feels like a breach of that trust.
It feels like we were misled.
On DPD's website, it urged anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers or 911. Crime Stoppers is operated by the North Texas Crime Commission, a cooperative partnership. Dallas Police Chief Eddie Garcia told us in a statement, while DPD does not have input on the criteria that must be met for a Crime Stoppers reward, when a unique set of circumstances arises, we certainly can open up conversations that will help improve services, prevent crime, or help solve investigations in our city. The Jordans are hopeful that will happen in their case.
They should be held to their word.
I just got off the phone with a Crime Stoppers board member. He said that the rewards are only paid to people who call the tip line based on Texas law. The Jordans believe if they had tried to search for that tip line number instead of just calling 911, Leonard Neal might still be on the run. We're going to be asking Texas lawmakers if it's time for the statute to change.
So I thought that part of the story was interesting as well, that they were saying it's a law basically that has, and I didn't know Crime Stoppers was even related to the legal system at all. I thought it was kind of like just a nonprofit organization on its own. But anyway, I wanted this to get out there because I'm like, I like to give y'all, public service announcements, sneak them into the shenanigans and the foolishness that we do while giving the detailed facts of these stories and deep dives. So I was like, just in case any of our people ever run into this situation, and I don't know, that law could be specifically for Texas, but it's something you want to definitely be mindful of if you are trying to report anything that any crimes that you're aware of and you have a tip on that has gone through Crime Stoppers, that you want to contact them directly if you want to qualify to receive the reward. So just wanted to give you that. So now we're going to get into your comments. Okay, we got a few. Ladies, I think you can start a few more. I think just keep, questions though, mainly like, hard hitters stuff. Vanessa is saying, yes, her job made a statement saying she was fired, but they still were worried about her and had a hard time with her disappearance. This is the thing, it's so much stuff out here, because I just read the statement from her job, from the owner, and he didn't mention anything about the firing. So is there another statement in addition to this one, or did someone in social media land add the she's fired into this, saying that it was a part of the statement when it wasn't? But we did see that it was a part of a private text message thread between some anonymous people. And did people conflate and kind of, muddy the water and tell it as it was? Did they do telephone with this and create their own version of what the receipt was? I'm curious. Like for me, when it comes to stuff like that, as y'all can see, I'm like, okay, so where's the receipt? Can I see the actual notice from from her company that says that they fire her? Because what we just read, that I know for a fact, is from the boss of the Woodhouse Day Spa. He mentions nothing about terminating her, but he did say everything else you said. So I don't know, Vanessa. I'm just wondering. And if you're still in the chat, Vanessa, let me know maybe if you actually saw the notice or if you saw someone commenting what you just wrote, because I'm curious. Social media, y'all, people just be saying stuff. It's like if you think about the messiest work environment you've ever had, like some of us have had some work environments where you're like, oh my God, these people are so messy and they gossip so much and they just get everything wrong and they slow and they bad at their jobs. That's social media. That's the buzz on social media. So you always everything you gotta, take with a grain of salt and like do your own vetting. Everything on social media. So I'm always gonna be a little harder on y'all with some of those comments to say, okay, great information. How can we prove this? If it's something I've never heard of, like, okay, so where did you get that information from? Because again, I do always remember that I have a platform and there are, thousands of people who are listening. So I'm very careful. And I don't mind some gossip here or there, but I want to say, hey, this gossip, just like I just told y'all, this stuff is still what we just read. We know that there are facts within that text message thread, a lot of juicy facts that did not come out before. So aligning, but I am still saying that it is still not proven. Like, we just want to make sure we're clear on those things, because then people will run with it like, oh, it's a fact, and it might not be. Somebody will be saying they said this in a press conference. I guarantee you, telephone. Somebody gonna been heard this in this video or wherever else they done seen it, and they gonna add this into. And in the press conference, they were saying that she had blocked her boyfriend, and then she unblocked him in the day later, and then he called them. They ain't said none of that in the press conference, but somebody gonna say they said it because they heard it somewhere else. That's how it works. Telephone. Pink Pearls is saying her daddy doesn't believe that story. Are you saying that because his body language is always very, his body language is always towards his wife, like he's comforting her, because he's like, my poor wife, she believed everything this girl said. I've been telling her she's spoiled, she'll spoil brat, and we ruined her, and she wild, and she just believed everything. I'm gonna have to wait till she come to her senses on her own, because she just won't listen. She think I'm just hating on our baby. Like, he always rubbing on her, like he like, I just got to go through the process with her till she get it. It is very much that, Pink Pearls. He just wanted his baby back. He wanted her back, safe and sound for sure. But I think now that she's back, he's just like, she up to her shenanigans. Baby, it'll be okay. Give me your head. Put your head on my shoulder. It'll be okay. We'll get through this like we didn't got through the other stuff that fortunately did not make public attention. National, millions of people in our business and bringing our phones off the hook and random people texting us. I knew this girl was going to do something one day. That is the energy he's giving. That's why I wanted to take that red Mercedes from her. That's why she acting a fool. And she got pregnant by a 17-year-old. That comes from your side of the family. That behavior. That's what it's giving. Gwendola is saying those interviews are kisses of doom for her parents. Yes, I didn't want to. I in my head I was contemplating replaying them just for us to be like, let's analyze, because I'm that's how my brain works. I'm like, let me analyze this now with the newer information that I have. But we ain't wasting time. I'd rather do y'all comments because we didn't get through too many of them earlier today. But yes, I'm with you. Shantae is saying Carlee playing in our faces. So now Trump, I didn't think about that. She did describe Trump. An orange-haired white man, well, an orange white man with a bald spot in the back. Child, please. It'd be funny if they have her, you know how when you go and you're what they call it when they drafting up the suspect and you got to describe him, and by the time the artist is done and he turns, it's just like a full picture of Trump. Like, why he look so familiar? Trump is white trash though. He got that in common with the Woods people that kidnapped her. Woods aliens. Anyway, Kim says, I really thought this was a human story. My friend clocked it from the jump and said it was BS. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people came out the gate, and I'm just like, slow down, y'all, slow down. I get it, I hear you, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff you're saying, but like, I'm just, again, let me have evidence, because God forbid if they were incorrect and people were dragging her and creating memes, about her, calling her Carlee Smollett and all of that before she was found. Felicia B is saying she called the brother's girlfriend, fiance, family member, as she been called. What? She called the brother's girlfriend, yes, fiance, family member, as she been called. I don't. It could be my comprehension because I'm tired, so maybe I'm just not understanding what that means. Forgive me if it's on my end. Shantae is saying now that the mama doesn't like to be upstaged. The boyfriend did a post that went viral. Mom did a post. Police did a press conference. Mama went on Today's Show yesterday. Let's see what she does now. Well, she did. Her last thing was that statement that I read, y'all, where she was reading y'all for filth and dragging y'all and gaslighting y'all and saying stay out her effing business. Like all she needed was your prayers and your search. She didn't need nothing else from y'all. So that actually came after the Today Show interview. So that's been her last thing that she did, and that was yesterday evening. We ain't gonna hear from her for a minute. I guarantee you. After this press conference, I don't see people, if they have an attorney that, or if they want to try to do some damage control, which, knowing what I know about social media and all of that stuff, I would say their best bet would be to get PR, and PR would probably tell them to be quiet for a while, go dark, get off social media, don't say nothing about nothing. If you can avoid the interviewing with the police, do it at all costs. Try to let this die down. Then wait till the police get impatient with this situation and they're like, hey, we got to close this. We got to interview her. Or they decide to just press charges and they're forced to deal with it in that way. Lawyer up. Well, get a defense attorney who is good with that stuff and handle it that way. And that be the next time that the public hear from you, is if she gets charges and they see you in the courtroom kind of thing. That's probably gonna be the best way for them to handle this. And I'm not sure. I'm hoping they did do the vigil in their, the prayer vigil. I'm like pronouncing it wrong, but y'all know what I'm saying. I'm country. But they're doing it. They did it in their subdivision. I'm just wondering if they're in a gated community. I hope they are. But if not, the only thing I'm concerned with is people doxing them and showing up at their house and doing stuff. I saw someone comment, and I don't know if it got started or not, but I saw someone comment, well, why is the parents driving to Atlanta? So I don't know what that statement, because that's literally all they said in the statement, in the comment here. I don't know if that means that the parents have recently just left and went to Atlanta. They heard that they went on I don't know what that means. But if that's the case, I could see why, because chances are their home is no longer a peaceful place, because people, I guarantee you, have figured out where they live or know where they live, have figured out where they live, and would most likely be harassing them and all of that, just doing too much, ringing the doorbell and all that stuff. So they probably, if they have left town and drove to Atlanta, it's to go to some family member's house somewhere that don't nobody know, probably in the woods with the woods people, and to get some peace. Probably took Carlee out there so she could roam in the woods freely without being kidnapped. So I don't know, but Crafting with Susie is saying she has done a disservice to Black and brown people. They don't look for us, and now that they have, this happens. Yeah, I mean, I want us to change the narrative, though. I hear you, and it is true, but I almost feel like we sometimes help perpetuate certain stereotypes against us because we keep repeating them versus changing the narrative. Because you know what they do? They gaslight and they change the narrative. Like, no, all of our people get reported. Everyone gets reported fairly. Like, let's change it and quit saying that, because then they do it and they know it gets to us as well. So I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. And I keep saying that comment, but I'm like, it doesn't do us a service to keep repeating that narrative. Even if it's reality, it's positive affirmation to be like, yes, that's been the past, but that's not going to be what it is. Because let's say that's how it was, but based on this situation, we're showing what we can do and what attention can be brought. So God forbid the next situation, we make it happen on this level and it will be legit. We make all the ones we're even looking for. And I'm going to do a better job at that. Literally, something good has come out of this for many people. It's been an eye-opener that this is a epidemic that happens all the time. And we just hear about one young lady, and unfortunately it ain't real. Fortunately, it ain't real though, in a way. But we hear about one lady and we see the power that we had to bring attention to it. Let's do this for everybody, for the rest of them. And so I would rather take that positive affirmation and place it on there versus the negative, like, oh, next time Massa ain't gonna listen to us. I don't like that. That's how that feels to me. That's how that feels versus we have the power. We are free. And look what we just did with this ish. Although it was some BS, we did this and we did the damn thing. Like it was everywhere. We can do this ish again every time we need to do it. That's what I want. I want us to take our power back. I am here for the show, says The chef was nice, nasty in that. Oh, I'm sorry, the chef. I'm getting tired. I have been reading y'all comments like for 4 days, 2 days straight, 3 days straight. The chief was nice, nasty in the press conference. He killed it. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. That was definitely a mic drop. I enjoyed every moment of that. Miss Wilson says her parents have money. Yeah, I think when I saw that pop up in the live chat, I think it was when I was talking about her stealing money from work and something to that effect. But I was talking about that piece of it. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what I was saying, but it was something to that degree. And I think someone was saying people who have money steal, and that's when I make that comment as well. But yes, you're right. They are saying that the parents have money. Thank you so much, Miss Wonderful. I got this little thing I've been meaning to play, but it's so complicated to get to. But thank you. I've been wanting to do that when I get the super chats. It's just so hard for me to get to it. So thank you very much, friend. Oh, I think I deleted the wrong one. Oh no, here's the other one. Lusha. Hold on. I'm gonna get my soundboard one day. Thank you so much for the super chat, Lusha. Jamie's lawyer excerpt believes she was trying to get to the Bay concert, basically Beyonce concert in Nashville, until she got too much publicity. Plans had to change. So is Beyonce okay? So I had not heard, that was the first time I've heard this one. Lush Hush, do we know that to be true? Or anybody in the chat, is Beyonce, or was, I guess, Beyonce in Nashville this weekend or coming up anytime soon that she's trying to get to? Is Queen B there? First, I want to know that, because then we'll know if this could even possibly be true, because I don't know her schedule. Told y'all Beyonce was in Nashville this past weekend. Okay, so Ebony Queen is saying that Beyonce was in Nashville. That is effed up. No, I hope you didn't do all. She 25. Like, was she? It's not what? Now I do know some dysfunctional households where a 25-year-old would be still treated like a teenager, and they would maybe feel like they couldn't roam the world freely and would have to lie about where they going and all of that. That does exist. We do know it does. But it'd be very odd if this was all, this is great promotion for Beyonce though. But it would be very odd if this was all about Beyonce. That's the first time I've heard that. Oh, Jesus, this is a generation. I hope that's not true. Did I recognize Miss Wonderful? I think I did. And if I didn't, thank you. I think I did. I think I just didn't unstart. I wonder, did she eat the food in the car while she sat in the car for a while? That's why she left the bag of food and took the snack. Yeah, they didn't get specific, but I think he did. If I'm not mistaken, he did mention she left the food behind, but took the snacks. But he didn't say whether the food was touched or not. And, I don't know. Lotus is saying, search history don't lie. Do you have to pay for another Amber Alert? How to take money from a register without being caught? That's the part that's crazy. Like, you stealing, you telling some girl that you a bad bee, and you sitting there stealing from a register. Use the bottom of the barrel you calling her to be. Taking, yeah, it basically all the stuff she Googled. Yes. Ivy Life Coach is saying, this is so sad. There are so many government agencies involved, so many unnecessary resources. Yeah, and a lot of money. That was hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'm sure. And she's going to have to pay that money back. I'm pretty sure they're going to come back at her for that. Old Soul is saying, can you imagine having a missing love on and unable to get media attention and resources, but this line heifer did? Yeah, that's the sad part too. And I don't know if I just saw it in the live chat here. I think I may have someone saying someone else actually went missing. A young lady went missing that same time period. I know that there was a bogus article, news article out there talking about a young lady who disappeared that same week. It wasn't true. They had gave Carlee a different name, mixed up dates, mixed up certain pieces of the details, had some of this gossip was in it. But come to find out that person don't exist. Like, I dug deeply because I was like, oh my God, I got to report if it's another woman missing too. And supposedly it was in Birmingham, or at least in Alabama. And so, but turned out not to be true. So I'm not sure if whoever mentioned it in this chat, if y'all are talking about that story, because I feel like some people don't know that story is not true. Nature lover. And if you know that it is true and you know the name of that person, please share it in the chat so that I can then come with that story. Nature lover, social media all over black and white use their platforms for her. Shaking my head. Yep. And hopefully we can continue this for other people that are actually missing. She just needs to give it up and tell the truth at this point. Kenitra, we're not getting that. Carlee ain't giving us no truth. Carlee probably don't even know how to tell the truth, is what I'm gathering. LeBron's unicorn is saying she left the phone and watch because she knew those things could be tracked. Yeah, I think we're pretty clear on that at this point. That's what makes me angry. Here is a mother who lost their child and doesn't want to see another mother go through this. It's all fake and heartbreaking to me. Yeah, I think you're talking about, and I did pull her clip in here. Angela Haley Harris, who is the mother of Anaya Blanchard. I'm so bad with names. Y'all see, I got to close my eyes to visualize the articles I've read. That's the only way I'm able to remember these names. Y'all know how bad I am with names. I'm a visual person, though. So if I repeat it enough times or see it enough time, I can remember it. So that's why I keep every time. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but every time I say her name, I close my eyes and visualize what her name is. But anyway, I'm gonna play this clip because you did mention it, Kenitra, of her mom. This is the mom of Anaya Blanchard. Anaya Blanchard, for those of you who don't know, do I have it in here? I think I did pull it in here just in case I mentioned it. Yes, here she is. So Anaya Blanchard was the daughter of, or is the daughter of, Angela, who they're both pictured there. Anaya was unfortunately kidnapped in 2019. Her attacker kidnapped her and then took her life, robbed her, kidnapped her in her own car, took her life with a pow-pow. And her mom has basically become an advocate since then. And she even got a law passed, Anaya's law passed in, is that, I forgot where they at. Wherever they at. Where are they? I can't remember. Y'all say it in the chat if you know. I can't remember where they're from. I got too many news stories in my head. So, but anyway, she ended up being asked to participate in Alabama. Thank you so much, TBL. She ended up helping out with the leading the search party for looking for Carlee because she was skilled in this. And so she took the lead. They asked her to come there and take the lead. And so she did. She actually did a like a 12-minute live stream where she talked about the situation. I ain't gonna play all that because I have it in a different video. So if y'all missed these videos leading up to it, every video we got some new stuff in it that ain't in the other one. So have at it. Go look at it. So anyway, I played a live stream of this.
Do it because I guess I got my feelings. And
so that was her giving a recap. That was before the press conference. That was on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. And she was giving basically a brief recap of her involvement with the situation. And at that point, she knew Carlee was home. She was saying she's just happy that she's home, et cetera, et cetera. And there's more that'll come out about the story, but she can't share it, et cetera. And then when people were like coming at her about, well, what about our safety? Should we be worried about our safety? And she was saying, basically, this is a PSA to say you should always be concerned with your safety, regardless of this Carlee situation. And if there is or isn't a perpetrator who kidnapped her, because the truth is there are thousands of them out there who are looking to scoop you up. So that was basically in summary what she said. But this was also a newscast she did, news segment that she did. Is that it? Yeah, I think this is it.
Nichole Russell is over. The missing 25-year-old nursing student returned to her family home Saturday night. Police say she arrived alone and on foot. Angela Harris helped lead the community search for her.
You spoke to this family moments after Carlee came home.
Right.
What did they say?
It was just kind of like a very emotional phone call. I just broke down and I said, is she okay? And she said, I don't know, she seems to be okay. She just seems to be in shock.
Officials say Russell was taken to the hospital for evaluation and has since...
I ain't gonna play all that because we already know the gaslighting that happened with that story after that. So let me change the thumbnail, put it on back on a raggedy picture because we're talking about a raggedy situation. Marlena is saying, so if the woman played in her hair, oh, I forgot about that piece of it. And she played in her hair. Because I think she's going with the narrative. Well, again, it could have been an alien. See, it's starting to sound more and more and more like an alien because the average person ain't caring about playing in some stranger's hair, but an alien would be like, what is this? They're examining her. It was an alien. It was an alien. But if this woman alien played in her hair, that means she unbraided it first, then played with the hair. Now. Well, I don't know if you're saying that because of this particular picture, because I have noticed that there are people on social media confusing this picture for being the picture after she was captured. Not captured. I think I'm thinking of a future one because she will be captured. She'll be captured at some point for conviction or trial. Or what they call it, indictment. She'll be captured for that. But no, some people somehow got out on social media that people are thinking this is after she came home. This was before. This is a family member put this picture out to say this is what she looks like without braids. So I don't know if you're saying that her hair was taken down from the cornrows, I guess she had from the wig. I don't know why you're saying that, I guess, unless it's like, have you heard something that's where they're saying that? Or are you basing it on her loose hair there with no cornrows and no comb? ain't no comb been through that hair in a minute. But anyway, Felicia B, I don't believe she was in the woods. I do believe she called family from the hotel, but I didn't expect for them to bring so much attention to the area shortly after she showed up at the house. Yeah, I mean, I think people out of their excitement, well, I don't know, but I may be missing some context in what I read from you. But I do believe that out of the excitement for those who really, truly thought she was missing, they were like, oh my gosh, she's home. And they're texting each other and they're on social. Oh, thank God. We knew God can do it. Carlee just walked in the door, and they're not thinking because they're not public figures. They're not celebrities. They don't know how to move in these social media streets or in the public. And they don't know that if you want to keep something private, the best way to keep it private, if the public is interested, is to say it's nothing. Once you put give them a little taste, a little droplet of it, you give it to the public, they're going to want more. It's like cats coming for food, stray animals. So I ain't calling y'all stray animals, but what I'm saying is the public on social media loves consumption of content and information. And so I think that is probably what happened and how it ended up being a huge commotion in a crowd of people immediately is because people weren't thinking rationally. They were being emotional in that moment, which is understandable as well. But I think that's probably what happened. Alice is saying anybody who still believes the story at this point probably still believes that the 2020 election was stolen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There are people out there like that. So yeah, most likely. Seashell's Prosperity says if she was preggo and had a mental break, the pregnancy would be the mental issue. The finding out, that is a large change. Like he is a child, but in control of her life. He is the seed planted. I mean, I guess, yes, you're saying, like, I guess finding out you're pregnant mysteriously and having to deal with that. People do strange things. People deal with grief and shock and stuff differently. That's a whole lot to do just because you shocked you got a baby. I'm more in line with her doing that for Beyonce. Her doing all that to be like, I don't care what my parents say. I got to go see Beyonce. I'm going to play like I'm missing and then go to a concert with 100,000 people. Oh, my God. Keep It Pushing is saying, well, the boyfriend deleted all pictures of her off his Instagram after the police conference today. What did he? Okay, so again, y'all, I'll be liking clarity. I don't just run with stuff. So does that include the post where he's proclaiming that he's, so thankful to God, she fought for her life, kidnapped, blah, blah, blah. Is that still up or is that gone as well? That's key. Oh, I don't follow him though. Did I follow him? I don't think I followed him. It's going to make me want to look. Yeah, I'm sure his page is private by now for sure. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Let me see if I can pull him up real quick. Yeah, I don't follow him. I got all that stuff off social media. Damn, how do you spell his name? Hold on, y'all. Y'all got me curious, and we doing kitchen table talk. So let me see. And the reason I'm asking that is because what I heard was that he didn't have pictures up of her anyway. So I don't know if people are getting confused and thinking that he deleted pictures when they actually never existed. They are saying that, oh, damn, this is Facebook. That's not Twitter. I think I got his Twitter too. Damn, did I pull it? Yeah, it's not here. I ain't got time to do all that. It's in my computer. It's not, because that's not it. Nope, that's his Facebook. Damn it. I ain't gonna be able to find it quickly. But anyway, the reason I wanted to confirm that is because even prior to this, even when I think I was on his Instagram. I think I was. But it should have been in my search, my recents. Hold on. Nope, that's not him. I don't know. My brain a little foggy right now anyway. Okay, I ain't gonna worry about it. But anyway, the reason I'm conflicted and wanting to see what this is about is because they're saying that he didn't have pictures posted of her anyway before this. And so they like, well, he pop out proclaiming his love and like he's, so heartbroken over her missing and tunnel vision and all that. But he didn't have pictures of her until she went missing on his Instagram. And then I know I browsed myself. I feel like I looked because I was like, damn, they right. Like he literally did not have any pictures of her that I saw in scrolling. So that's why I'm confused if this is a bit of misinformation or if this is. Now, if he removed his recent post about her, the one that I have here, then it's like, okay, yeah, he definitely. That ain't even the one. I keep forgetting. I didn't bring it in. But if he deleted that post with photos of her, because it was a carousel with multiple photos, then to me that says, oh yeah, he done. I mean, supposedly they were done before that. T. Smith is saying, where is the DNA from the big fight of her life? Yeah, I mean, they never said what that fight looked like. Even though they did say it was both physical and mental, they never said what that fight looked like. Maybe it was her fighting to pull the handle of the door of the 18-wheeler while everyone slept. I don't know. Jacqueline Brown is saying, this is so wrong. She would do this. There is so many people missing in the country. I even posted on my social media to pray for her, shaking my head. Yeah, I posted too. Again, we did the damn thing. And I want us to be proud of that. And I want us to keep that in mind that we did it this time and we can do it again. If we did it before, we can do it again. That's Ty Tribbett. I forgot which song, but if he did it before, he can do it again. But anyway, so yes, that's how I feel about it. I feel like we need to be proud of ourselves. It ain't our fault that we believe the person. You should always believe a person who's a victim first. So we did that. We did our role. Then we found out that she was a liar from the pit of hell. We commenced the dragon to teach her a lesson, and anybody who might consider doing this foolishness in the future, to let them know it's not a good look and it doesn't go well, because within hours, you will have thousands of comments, commentary, videos, social media posts, memes, everything you can name dragging you and everybody who look like you in your family. So I think we did okay. Don't be hard on yourself. Ariel Brown is saying people were terminated, but it wasn't 50. I thought that number was very absorbent, and the reason I even repeated that number was because someone sent me, again, on Instagram. Follow me there if you haven't. One of our people sent me a TikToker's video where they said 50 plus people were fired. I'm like, that's a lot of people. But, you know, that's what, again, people don't vet things. They just get to talking. And this is a TikToker with a platform. And then somebody's sharing their video with me. So if I'm just going to, and remember, I told y'all, allegedly, I didn't come out here saying, yeah, and 50 people from the Hoover police got fired. But some people do that. It's a whole thing, y'all. It's a whole thing. That's why I be on y'all in these comments with some of the stuff y'all be saying to me. Like, vet it. Where you get it from? I'm going to start making y'all cite y'all sources. If it ain't, actually, I'm gonna probably just tell the moderators, if people not citing their sources when they telling me these rumors, don't put it on the screen. Don't start it. Let it just stay in the chat. Cajun Scorpio says, who that bay on the road? Coming near a theater near you. I guess that's her title. Alice is saying, I guess she never thought about the fact that if she really went missing, nobody would believe her after this fiasco. Yeah. Jamila Robinson is saying, selfish woman with so many missing and exploited children and women, she does something like this. Yeah, it's obviously, that's again where I say it's giving me spoiled brat vibes. Like self-centered, narcissistic, egotistical. I'm a bad bee. You bottom of the barrel, like what she said in that DM to that other lady. It's giving me that vibe because of the fact that she didn't even go in within herself to say, I can't do this because there are people really missing, and these are resources that would be possibly used for somebody who needs real help. That's a person who's, feeling and thinking, concerned with other people, but it looks like that's not who she is, based on this. Terry Key said, I got my money back. I guess you mean from Crime Stoppers. I ain't mad at you. I mean, I would have left it for, there are other crimes out there that need to be solved and people call in for it. So I would have left it. Cajun Scorpio said, refund everyone and sue Carlee for the same amount donated. Oh, Carlee's bill is going to be big enough with the government. Trust me. They'll need to add another penny. I'm sure it's going to be over $100,000 for sure for this. And again, her reputation, her public persona, all of it is. She lost a lot. She is bankrupt in many ways. For quite a while. It's going to take a long time. She's 25 now. It's going to probably take her to 35 or 40 before people give her some grace. David Harris says, Carlee got no job, got no boyfriend. He should be sus. Stop yourself, David. Even though I hear you, and I was thinking the same. But got good D this weekend. So. Now she wants to evaporate. Nah, girl. You and your people involved should be charged for mucking with the law. I'm hoping that her people were not involved. I think that they may be covering for her now in some, weak hope of trying to save her reputation in some way, and they don't know no better. They don't know that it ain't gonna work. You can't control society. Like even when you clap back at them in your notices on social media, that it ain't make a dent. Callie Queen is saying the other woman that did this went to jail for 18 months. Oh, okay. There was another woman who did this. What y'all think about to happen to Carlee? So I guess you're saying I would like to know who the other woman was. I would like to compare that story, but I mean, it's possible. It's possible. We'll see. And if that does happen, this story ain't dying no time soon. Then my throat is really getting messed up, so I'm about to get off of here. Robin Hartley is saying, I think she did all this to become famous. Really, Robin, though? Like, it's with social media and all of that, there are so many other ways to go viral. I mean, you can create like a viral TikTok video that she could have did a dance in this pink and blue getup. She could have did a fake breakup with her boyfriend over a date and threw water in his face and went viral or something. There are other ways to become internet famous without involving the law. Anytime you start to involve the law, you started on the wrong path. It's very hard to get away with effing with the law. You don't want to involve them in your plans if that's what you're trying to do. I mean, I hear you, but it's a reach. I really go for she was trying to get to the Beyonce concert. I would go with that before trying to be famous, because that's a lot. You're talking about Panini. I need to look up that story, because did that happen in 2020? I think you just said that. I don't know, y'all. I'm reading so many things and words jumping in my head and names, and my throat's starting to hurt. But I think I do remember the story, but I didn't follow it closely. But it's the girl who went missing, I think, on a hike or something with her boyfriend. So I never really followed the story. Like, I heard about it, and it was everywhere, so it was unavoidable, but I never really looked into it. And I was a YouTuber then, but I wasn't doing these sort of stories, so I wasn't following it. So I don't know what happened with that. So y'all let me know in the chat if something happened with that. If that's who we're talking about. 18 months, but tax crime, no victims is how much? Yeah. That's kind of what I was saying about her getting time. You're saying that Carlee had a TikTok? Is that what you're saying? Seashell Prosperity? Felicia B is saying, yes, it happened around 2020. She went missing while jogging. Yeah, I only know the very basics, and then so I'll look that up. Maybe we'll go over that in some other, like, it wouldn't be a whole live stream just on that, I don't think, but I could probably add something in with it. Let me see. Okay, she claimed the Mexican. I think we're talking about the Panini lady, but she's saying not Gabby, different story. I don't know, y'all. Y'all comments, when they don't give context, then I'm just kind of lost. Sherry is now, I don't know if you're talking about somebody different, if this is the same Panini person, or if this got something to do with the Gabby person. I don't know what's happening. We got multiple conversations, and I can't tell from the chat what's happening. Okay, I see something about a Mexican lady. Let's see. Child, the Mexican woman are trying to account for 85,000 Mexican children missing, not Carlee. Are 85,000 Mexican children missing? Oh, I think from the whole wall thing with Trump still, is that what we're talking about? Are those children still missing? I can't follow everything, y'all. So some of this stuff I'm just not, I don't know what's happening. Ma'am, you think that narrative of being pregnant for a married man and actually was headed to get a termination is true? Oh, you're talking to somebody else. So, but anyway, I thank all of you. Yeah, we're hitting. How we get to 3 hours that quick? Jesus, these lives just be flying. I swear it don't be feeling like 3 hours. This feels like maybe an hour and a half, hour 45. But we are at the 3 hour mark, and I ain't going beyond that. I thank all of you for joining me this evening. If you have not and you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button If you are not new to this channel, but you have not hit that like button, please do that as well. It definitely helps me more than you know. I will be back tomorrow going live, I think in the afternoon. But again, click that link in the pinned comment above to connect with me. And I send out notifications in my VIP Facebook group, as well as in my VIP text community, which is actually scrolling across the bottom of the screen. I did remember to put it down there. You can just text that, say, hey, Vel. It adds you to the text community. And then anytime I upload videos, I send a message, you'll know, because YouTube don't always let y'all know. And then also, I do put other updates in there as well. But if you really want to get into the shenanigans and my thoughts and all of that stuff, I do that in our VIP text community and in our Patreon. Patreon, I get way more transparent and personal. But anyway, with that, thank all of you. If anything major develops with this story overnight, which is possible still, then we'll talk about this again tomorrow. If not, we got a ton of other stuff that I'll be covering tomorrow either way. So with that, y'all have a great night and take care and be blessed. Peace.